John Pei-chan ho! What is up, everybody? Welcome to PCP Movie Night. After a 2-week hiatus, we are back here talking about movies that we love, movies that we enjoy, and tonight we're talking about Ghost World. That's right, Ghost World, which is based on the Daniel Clowes comic book. We covered that comic book on Friday night for Comics Revisited, so please check out that replay. The link is in the description below, because this is a nice 1-2 punch talking about a brilliant comic book from one of the most brilliant cartoonists out there, and then the film adaptation that garnered him an Academy Award nomination. Speaking of Oscar nominations, Jelani was once nominated for almost being Best Costume. What's up, Jelani?
Yeah, didn't win. Lost to Will Smith.
I know. Then you got the shit slapped out of you. Speaking of slapping people at the Oscars, after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, this dude went up and slapped The Rock. It's Brian. What's up, Brianiac?
I don't even know.
Oh, there you go.
I don't even know. Just glad to be here.
Just glad to be here. Speaking of glad to be here, he was happy to be there for the very first Academy Award presentation, and in which he slapped Joan Rivers. It's Brooks. What's up, my man?
So, now you're giving away that I'm a time traveler.
You just went back in time to slap Joan Rivers at all these different, and I'm just guessing that she was there at the first Academy Awards. She probably wasn't.
But she probably deserved it.
That's a wonderful use of that technology.
Yes, I think so.
I only use my time machine to go back and slap people.
What people really don't want to know is that actually that's not Will Smith that slapped Chris Rock. That was a Brooks from the future who traveled back in time. And in the future, they got this hologram technology, image inducer, if you will, Nightcrawler. You know what I'm saying? And you can just look like whoever you want.
Set him up.
And the thing was, that wasn't even Chris Rock. It was actually Jelani from the future, going back in time with an image inducer to look like Chris Rock, who was there to assassinate Ben Affleck, who wasn't even at the Academy Awards.
Elaborate time
because he's trash.
He's like Bishop. He comes back. I know who the traitor is. It's Ben Affleck. All right, y'all. Tonight we're talking about Ghost World.
Professor Xavier the whole time.
Oh, God.
We're talking about Ghost World tonight. So the same crew here tonight. We did do the Comics Revisited on Ghost World. If you've never read that graphic novel, me and Brooks gave it 5, you digs. Brian gave it a 4.5, and Jelani gave it a 4. And now we're going to be talking about the movie, the cinematic adaptation from 2001 by Terry Zwigoff, who this was his first feature film that wasn't a documentary. He had done the Crumb documentary, if y'all remember that, right? So that's what's going on here. So he wants to do this movie. They get Thora Birch, Scarlett Johansson, Brad Renfrew, Steve Buscemi. They change up some stuff. Overall, let me tell you this. I love this movie. And this is one of those movies that's like a ghost in a world. I got into Daniel Clowes' work. I watched this movie. I loved it. I remember I knew the movie was coming out when I was getting into Ghost World, right? But it was before the movie comes out. And I didn't watch this movie in theaters. I got it on DVD. I had that DVD for years. Now I got the Criterion Blu-ray, which is in Brooks's hopefully pristine still in pristine condition, I hope, in Brooks's possession.
And there's a coaster right now.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad I did take the mini comic and the fucking insert out of it before I gave it to Brooks. I'm not even lying. You never know. Nothing against you, Brooks. It's just I'm that kind of guy, I guess. I don't care about condition on my comics. I care about the condition on my Blu-rays. It's weird. Anyway, I liked this movie back then. I loved it. I was into it. And then life happens. You know, that was my early 20s. Life happens. And to be honest, I kind of almost forgot this movie. Right? And in recent months, Daniel Clowes has come back into my world with a ferocity. Right? There was stuff I missed that I've been checking out that I'm loving. And I've been rechecking out the stuff that I was barely getting into back then. And it's just is opening, or should I say reopening a whole world for me. And so going back and revisiting the graphic novel and then revisiting the movie, I watched the movie last Tuesday night. So I did my weekly comic book review. I read Ghost World because it's like 60, 70 pages, right? So I read that, then I watched the movie. I had never done that with any comic book adaptation, just read the book and immediately watch the movie. So I was able to see the differences, but see that here's the thing. Sometimes in comic book movie adaptations, whether it's superhero or not, they always try to go either too literal or too different. This is a movie that shows you how to adapt something to film because it's not the same as the book as far as the plot goes necessarily, but it is the same as the book as far as the thematic material and the characters. And that rings true. I love this movie. Revisiting it, it reawakened that cynical hipster nature of snobby Robbie from like 20 to 27 years old. That Robbie, y'all remember him very well.
Yeah.
And it reawakened that. And it made me kind of revisit some of the life lessons that I should have learned then and didn't. and where I'm at today. And it helped me realize some of the life lessons that I did learn and pitfalls that I avoided into my life today. I loved revisiting this movie and glad I own that Criterion edition now on Blu-ray because y'all, we've all been sleeping on Ghost World, even us fans. Jelani, this was your first time watching this movie. You loved the graphic novel. So I want to know, what you think about the movie overall?
Well, let me get this out the way first. Yeah, Thor Birch and Scarlett Johansson can get it. Just get it out of the way so that we know up front how I feel
was
about
crushing
it.
on both of them back in those days, man.
Hard.
And that's like the first time I saw ScarJo.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's got that raspy voice that she's gotten rid of that a little bit, but like in her early movies, this and like Lost in Translation, she's got that.
Is where I saw her.
It's
first.
almost like she's like it's like she's only like 22 years old, but she's been smoking for 40.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gone. It's a little. She's got a little more manly voice, more masculine voice now. It's not as raspy as it was. Yeah, you are correct. But yeah, I like the movie. I think the graphic novel may be a little better to me in certain aspects, just because I knew Enid was vindictive, but the movie takes it to like her vindictive, like to a whole different level. Like she's bad. Like screwing Seymour over like the one time in the book is okay, and they feel terrible about it. But then it's elongated in the movie to where she basically fucks his whole life up, and it's so weird to watch that watch a psychopath work. That's what it looked like in this movie, and I like the characterization of everyone. Basically, this is the natural conclusion that I think Daniel Clowes was trying to go for. So I get it. It has its moments. It's got certain flair to it. It's something I heard about years ago, and I think it was even at the movie theater when I was there, and I didn't watch it. They were like, it's based on a graphic novel. I'm like, everything's based on a graphic novel now.
It was well after us. It was 2001. Right. We were like in it's like that's
I was in
like
Florida. I was in Florida back then.
No, that was like
that's
post Hollywood Video. Whatever you were doing after Hollywood Video.
Restaurant.
Or that was the year of Hollywood Video.
Yeah,
I don't know. Whatever. It
2001 was
doesn't
the year
matter.
of Hollywood Video. It was the year of Hollywood Video. But it came out in the theater. And I didn't care about it. But now that I've seen it, I mean, I like it. It's fairly decent, like I said. Thor Birch can definitely get it, but not as that character of Enid. Because good God, I wouldn't. She's too.
You don't like eating
emotional
in the movie,
Yeah,
compared to
not
the
in
book,
movie.
though.
Compared
Like-
to the book, in the book, she's more kind of endearing. Like she messes up and she does messed up things, but not to the extent she does in the movie. It's just a different. It feels like it's the same character, but it's that character if she was given full motivation and looked like Thor Birch. That's what I think. So I'll go with that. I like the movie. There's some parts of it I don't really enjoy, but I get. But other than that, it's a solid movie. It's a solid movie.
All right, Brian. What about you? What do you think about this film overall?
Yeah, overall, I loved it and really thought it was an amazing adaptation of the graphic novel to a different medium, right? I mean,
did a great job of that. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, all the stuff that they added to the movie was because they're making a movie that they maybe not mainstream audiences, but they want people to watch it, right? And not like, not like watch an anthology film. I mean, it was they needed a story, they needed the acts, and they needed more of a definitive thread going in there. So, and I thought the casting was excellent. I mean, and I don't know. I did watch the credits at the end and noticed that like Terry Zwigoff, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Zwigoff, and Daniel Clowes like wrote all the songs together, or they went back and forth on the different songs because like those Blues Hammer songs were made up by them.
Yeah, there's like a whole like EP or something out there you can find of
Is
Blues
there really?
Hammer. I'm their number one
Crazy.
fan, dude. I'm telling y'all, man.
That's
I'm
great.
telling y'all. They're
You are.
great. If
You
you
are.
like real like old school Delta blues, you need to check out some Blues Hammer, y'all.
I don't know if I like the real stuff though. I like it, broken down into a pop format.
Actually, it's more rockabilly.
But yeah, it's I don't know. I got no complaints. I mean, I thought it was great.
All right.
I watched it.
This was your
about a
first
month
time,
after I
right?
read it.
Was this
That
your
was the first time I'd watched it. I'd always been interested in watching it, but then, like you said, just kind of, I feel like it fell off everybody's radar. I never hear anybody ever talk about it. So, and I'm not sure I know too many people that have actually watched it either. So I don't know, but yeah.
It's a great film, and obviously Criterion Collection movies, they have the occasional garbage movie in there, but for the most part, they're all bangers. Speaking of banging, Banging Brooks is here. What'd you think about this film? This was your first time watching it. And yes, 62, they did do Art School Confidential together as well. It's kind of a little bit of a follow-up, almost, if you will, based on a short story from 8 Ball by Daniel Clowes. So, Brooks, what'd you think about the movie?
I loved it. That was great. I mean, and it's like, I think the only movie that I've seen that, can do the kind of adaptation as good as this one has done is probably like Scott Pilgrim. And this movie had like less source material to work with than, the Scott Pilgrim did too. And, it kept the, it felt right. It felt the same. And now, like thinking about it, I'm like, do I like the book better or do I like the movie better? It's like I can't really decide, because I like they're both like just so good. And like I think this movie made me laugh like a lot and like harder than I do in like a lot of comedies. Like especially like even early on, like I think one of the scenes that I really loved in this movie is when they're walking out of their graduation. And Enid throws her cap down and stomps on it. And the first, like I watched it twice. So like the first time I watched it, I thought they had both done that. But then the second time I watched it, I noticed that Rebecca actually holds on to her cap.
She flips off the
she
staple.
flips off the stapler, yeah.
And that's like in the trade. Like I noticed that there's a little illustration in the front. Now it's not part of the comic of them in their graduation cap and gowns with Enid doing the finger. I think that's probably my favorite image from that trade. It's just That's because it's like, fuck school, dude.
Yeah, fuck authority,
Yeah.
man, right?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
glad
that's
to be
awesome.
out of here. We'll never have to look at these losers' creepy faces ever again.
Yeah, right.
Like, we'll never have to see him again.
I think one of the
Good.
reasons, yeah, right. I think one of the reasons why it rings so true is because Terry didn't just do it by himself. He brought Dan in to do it with him, and that's something cool. I don't know of many other, I can't think of a single other movie where they're like, you know what, let's get the goddamn creator of the comic to come in here and help me with this. You know what I'm saying? That like
Who
just
knew
doesn't
to do that?
That just
Yeah.
doesn't happen, right?
Well-
but this movie is so essential to that Clowes perspective on the changing of society and just what it feels like to be youth and see the world kind of passing you by and all that kind of shit, right? All right, let's get into our favorite characters though, because it's the cast that really makes this film, and a lot of the same characters from the graphic novel, some characters that are amalgamations of different characters from the graphic novels, and some characters that are completely brand new. So out of all of it, what's a performance or character you want to highlight, Jelani?
It's the guy with the nunchucks. The totally made
You
up dude.
stole my
Sorry.
goddamn,
Sorry.
damn it.
He's
Mine
freaking
too.
amazing. The second he
Mine
came in with no shirt on, and he's like losing his freaking mind in the store, and
fucking
using
America,
nunchucks.
dude.
It's America. God, I absolutely loved him. Every time I was like, why is there not more of this guy in this freaking movie? I mean, you guys can talk about it more, but oh my God, like he was just so out of left field, and like he didn't do much work other than he attacked Seymour at the end, towards the end of the movie. But like every time he was there, I was cracking up. I was losing my mind. I was like, this guy's not in the book at all. He needs to be here.
Yeah, and a
Yes,
lot
Like,
of
I've
the
known guys
marketing,
like that too. Guys who are just like random losers who just like frequent a business.
Yeah.
Like seemingly for no reason.
Jay and Silent Bob. Yeah.
what does he
Just-
say? He's like, I got double shift, working overtime.
Shit,
And
16 hours.
Josh is like, the guy's here more than me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got a double shift, but he just stays in the parking lot.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
I love
like,
it.
I thought those nunchucks were basically like Chekhov's nunchucks, because like, I mean, like it shows them and then he does use them at the end.
He
You
uses
know?
them.
I mean, I was like, I don't know. I love that they did that. That
The
they
whole
not
marketing.
only- Yeah.
I was gonna say the whole marketing strategy of this movie was centered around that fucking character.
Really?
So
Really?
I think a lot of like, yeah,
That's
if you
funny.
watch the trailers or the TV spots or anything like that, it's all about him, like, because it's
Yeah.
hilarious, and I think
Yeah.
people are expecting. I think people are expecting, a little bit more zany of a film than
Yeah.
it's a very smart film, I think, but it's like a cynical intelligence that's behind this film, right? But yeah, an absolute great addition to the film, 100%, man. It's like a character straight out of Clerks, right?
What the crap, man? Yeah, he was. That
Yeah.
mullet, the sunglasses, the no
and
shirt,
the
and
store
tan.
owner, and then Josh works
Oh.
there, but like Josh completely downgraded in this movie.
Yeah, he's
completely
nothing in
done.
this movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah,
only
I
crime.
would have liked them to keep that. I think that story thread could have maintained a little bit throughout. But Brian, what's character's performance you want to highlight?
I'll go with since the nunchucks was taken. Oh, before I I do want to say that I thought it was super cool that David Cross was in the movie.
Yeah,
I love that guy a lot. I know it was a very small bit.
Trying to hit on an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Let me show you how it's done.
Yeah.
You know,
And-
he's the coolest dude in that bunch too. That's what's
Right.
sad.
yeah.
So I don't know. I saw him in the credits and I was like, oh, sweet. I had no idea. But yeah, I'd have to go with Steve Buscemi. I mean, I thought his acting was solid. And I know it was like kind of a combination of like Skeets and then like he did Josh's role for the, going to the adult video store, and that scene was awesome though. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus, he just kept saying that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. She had him so rattled there. It was funny. But yeah, I don't know. I thought he did a bang up job and I liked the way that, they took that character, Brett made something new. And then, that, was kind of one of the main threads through the whole thing. So, and
At any point, did you watch this film and go, wow, man, I love that character. This like sad guy who's like put a priority on collecting relics and artifacts of the past and it's not connected. And then you go and look around your place and you're like, shit.
I related way too much with Seymour.
That's
way
that's part
too
of
much.
it too. Is I can relate a
Yeah.
lot to that character, like because when he dropped that line about how she thought his collection was so cool, and he's like, "What, being stressed out all the time?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly what that's like."
She's like, I would kill for this collection. He goes, then kill me.
Yeah.
I love how she's like, he just hands her this record, and she does the whole
Yep.
and like he's like he almost has a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, how's that Blu-ray going? How's that doing, Brooks? How's that Blu-ray doing?
That's still in my Xbox right now.
Okay. It's nice. Okay. It's a good pick, Brian. What about you, Brooks? What's the character performance you want to highlight?
Well, Enid was my favorite in this movie. I love what they did with her character in this. Like, I think it captured the original, but kind of added a new spin to her. You know, she still has that thing where, like, you know, like you were talking about in the Comics Revisited, like I like this thing because I found it myself. Like you didn't, because you didn't earn it like I did, you know. And I think that's how, like, you know, her relationship with Seymour was. It's like originally she's like, you know, I'm gonna help this guy, you know, hook up. I'm gonna, like, you know, find him a girlfriend. But then when the girl, she finally gets him together with the girl, like, she's like, this girl doesn't even appreciate him. She didn't have to work for him like I did. She doesn't, you know, she doesn't see the value in him. And, you know, it's like everything else with her, like, you know, she's into it for a while, and then once she has it, you know, she just kind of discards it. But I thought, like, I thought it was really good and touching, like, at the end where, you know, she visits him in the hospital after he gets choked out by the nunchuck guy.
Yeah. That was
And like,
awesome.
and she showed, and like, he's like, I know, you know, because Rebecca had showed him, like, all of her sketches, and, you know, the whole ad thing, like, revealing to him, you know, all that stuff. And she's like, you stupid idiot, did you, like, look past those few pages? And then she shows him the rest of the drawings. Like, I thought that was a really nice and sweet moment, because, you know, this is a very cynical movie, and, you know, she's a very cynical character, but it like shows in the end, like, you know, she actually did care about this guy. And I think, you know, it was good. It was a good thing to add, like, at the end of the movie, because I think if they'd had it too early in the movie, it kind of would have, like, been a tone shift, you know.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have worked as well. But yeah, Enid was, I just love, she gets that, you know, kind of like not give a shit attitude down, and also the gives too much of a shit attitude.
Yeah.
Which is, like, you know, vital to that character.
It is,
because, you know, the whole punk, she does the whole punk thing just because, and then she gets pissed off that nobody, like, appreciates it.
yeah.
It changes right back.
It's like she goes to this place where these assholes are that she hates, and she knows that they're gonna, like, you know, be assholes, and then she's pissed off that they're assholes.
Yeah. I one of the things I think is different about this than the graphic novels, that they do give her that sweetness, right? But at the same time, she is actively rebelling against anything that she thinks is supposed to be the normal thing to do as an adult. And I think one of the reasons why she's attracted in some form or fashion to Seymour, and I think she realizes that was a moment of weakness in which she slept with him. And he's the one that's got, like, this fantasy about it, right? Like, his life has changed now. It's going to be him and Enid. I feel it more like she's kind of attracted to him because she is an unconventional adult, right?
Mm-hmm.
She is, or he represents to her, like, an adult that's not just going out and having, but at the same time, he does have a boring job that he hates he has this boring job he hates just to support his collection. Do you know what I'm saying? He can only listen to music on the original 78, guys. You know, that's more ragtime, but not the real ragtime. But for me, I'm going to go out of what's left, Scarlett Johansson as Rebecca. I really like Rebecca in the movie because I think in the book, I think Rebecca's one of the, even though I still think we don't get enough Rebecca, right? We get like in the book, just like here, I think we get more from Enid's perspective. I would like to see more from Rebecca, but what I like about this one, aside from the book, in the book, Rebecca's kind of like listless. She's like aimless, right? You don't really get much that you just get the idea that she hates things too. And like we were talking about on Comics Revisited, Enid, it represents running away from something,
Right.
and Rebecca
Rebecca's
represents
running towards
giving
it.
in,
Yeah.
right?
And it's like the whole thing with when they're going to find the apartment. She's like, we need to dress like rich yuppies to get the apartment. And then like the next scene is Enid dyeing her hair.
Yeah.
And then she's like, why did you do that?
She did that, like, this a subconscious thing that she did. I don't even think she did it consciously. It's a subconscious thing she did because of her rebellious nature, right? That's why she loves 70s punk over 90s punk, because that's corporate punk. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it bothers her that somebody thinks that she's dressing like punk in the 90s. You get what I'm saying? So, like, that's hilarious. But with Rebecca, she isn't so aimless. It isn't so tragic. She has a fucking plan. She's like, you know what? I don't want to really get caught up in the rat race, but I want to get out and be on my own. We know from the book that she lives with her aging grandmother. You know what I'm saying? So like we get a little bit more perspective added into that, but I like that dynamic. And it shows a little bit more about why the split in the friendship happens. Is because like ScarJo's like, all right, high school's over. Let's fucking go out and live this is what we're going to do to be adults. Let's do it. Right. And Enid is rebelling against that. And it shows a little bit more about why that friendship breaks apart. Though I would really appreciate a little bit more and using Josh to build into, they use Seymour a little bit as the thing that gets between them when I don't think it's Seymour at all. You know what I'm saying? And I wish they would have used the Josh bit a little bit too. Right. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. They only had she gave him a lingering look in one scene. I think that's how they like tried to pull that over from the comic. Cause she like slept with him at the end and then started going out with him at the end of the book. Right.
Yeah. Cause in the
she
comic,
was going to, but then
shows,
like she backed
Rebecca,
out.
But yeah, but Rebecca goes to Josh's house.
Yeah,
like
Rebecca
after
does.
one of their fights, and Rebecca goes to Josh's house and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then they start seeing each other. And then you pick that up.
Yeah, because I figured that's what it was because like they did that nod and then like that never materialized. So I was like that they probably just had that in there to kind of.
Well, they also had like she had a drawing of him in her like little diary too.
Yeah.
Like, there's a drawing of Josh with like
right after the pathetic picture.
Yeah, but I'm saying that would have been a good part to show in Rebecca's story in the movie was showing a little bit more of like because we see Josh for like one scene, right? Like a couple
he's
scenes.
always in the store. Yeah, he's always in the store.
Yeah.
And
he's Dante.
driving.
He's not even supposed to be there.
Yeah,
Josh is the broken man.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the style and structure. Terry Zwigoff, this was his first feature fiction film. He obviously had done the Crumb documentary before that, which garnered a lot of attention. He's into underground comics, alternative comics. And of course, that's going to lead him to the work of Daniel Clowes. And he wanted to do this movie. He brought in, and like I think it was 62 pointed out, Robert Rodriguez did bring in Frank Miller for Sin City. You were right about that.
I was going to point that out when you.
Yeah, you're right about that. But so he brings in Daniel Clowes. They work on the script together. They're nominated for an Academy Award. I think it's a brilliant script. I used to have a copy of the script with new, fresh art by Daniel Clowes. I got rid of it a long time ago. I shouldn't have done that. Because I was like, how often am I going to read the fucking script to Ghost World? But it's really well done. It's a great adaptation. I think Daniel Clowes talks about, at first he was just trying to write the script for the movie as if it was just a straight adaptation of the graphic novel. Very quickly learned he couldn't do that. He works together with Terry. I think they crafted something brilliant. I think it's shot very well. It accentuates this feel, this vibe of like nostalgia, but it's a weird nostalgia for something that you weren't quite there for, right? And the movie Ghost World has a tone and an atmosphere that really encapsulates that. It's haunting. A big part of that is the music. We'll be getting to that. But what do you think about the style and structure? I think it's expertly paced. I think it's fun. I think it's quick, and I think it's well shot. What about you, Jillian? What do you think about the style and structure of the film?
Yeah, I agree. It's shot very well. I love all the scene. I like the ending scene with the bus. I don't know. I like that angle where like this bus wasn't showing up, but this man is sitting at the bus stop the whole time, and then you find out that towards the end that there is a bus that shows up.
Oh yeah, we were talking about best characters. Shout outs to Norman and Weird Al because they nailed those roles.
Norman and did a great job.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and apparently she didn't. So it's just crazy how all the little quirks that are in the graphic novel are still in this film, and it is translated very well. Like, I am very impressed. Like, a lot of superhero movies need to try to do a similar approach when they're doing storytelling. And I would say like the best one for me would be like Winter Soldier. As far as, trying to adapt something from a comic book, you get bits and pieces, but you put it together in a way where people understand what's going on. And Ghost World does an excellent job of that. I mean, I just recently read the book a second time. I love the book. It's very well done as far as a collection of stories put together. And this is also great because it's a merger of some of the characters, some of the scenes. It's the same kind of, feeling that you get from the book. I like the color palette for some reason. It's shot very well. I like that it's not too long. Like, you get into it. I know it's about 2 hours. It's about running around 2 hours.
145 or something.
145, somewhere in there. So it's already decently a movie I'm gonna sit there and watch.
They did this movie today. It'd be 2 hours 15 minutes.
Shoot, yeah.
With the post credits leading into Art School Confidential.
Yeah, a 6-episode series on Netflix.
That's another great character, the art teacher. She was
great. Ileana Douglas.
I wanted to bring her up as an honorable mention.
Yeah, she was awesome.
That was a great new addition.
Well, I think of it more of as a found object.
Yeah. God, that whole
That's
scene.
a whole bit.
That's a whole thing by itself.
Oh, by the way, before you guys got here, when we were backstage, Delaney's like, "Why didn't you tell me about the chicken shit in this movie?"
Yeah, I forgot. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's a thing, and I know it happened, and it was real. It was real, and that the picture that they showed of it, that's real too. And I was like, wow, they actually
didn't even say something in the movie about how she says, like, when she's explaining it in art school, she says something about, I don't know, even though we look back in the past and think it was better and cleaner and nicer back then, like,
it really wasn't.
It was just, this shit was so out in the open. Like, it's so weird. And it's part of that nostalgia for a time that we weren't a part of that wasn't that great. You know what I'm saying? Make what great again? Like,
you what are you making great again? Yeah.
I think Cook's Chicken's just fine.
Cook's Chicken's great.
But based on a real,
it's a real restaurant
fucking thing, man.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's super racist, but it's okay. But the fact that it was brought up, I mean, I get it. It does tell a little bit to the narrative, but I still kind of think it didn't need to be in the movie. I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind it because it does tell, and Enid just pulled. This is the worst part. Enid just pulls that out of her ass.
Yeah, that's
wants to be
that part. But look at the juxtaposition of that shit versus the appreciation, the fine appreciation for these blues artists that were never remembered.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like,
and
it's showing this weird thing about how we just paint over the failures of our past and act like they didn't happen. We just put this like glossy new finish over it, right?
It's like when they're driving to the blues show and he's so pissed off, like he's not the headline, he's the starter, and he's the opener instead of being the main headline. And then he gets there and like he's pissed off that everybody's watching sports at the bar while this dude is playing. It's like because it's something that he has appreciation for, but like nobody else really gives a shit about. Like this great musician that he like looks up to, but like, everybody else is just basically doesn't care about.
Yeah. But you put a 2001 fresh coat of white boy frosted tips paint over it. Everybody loves Blues Hammer. It's shit. Yeah. It's just showing like that corporatized fucking glare over everything. I think this movie, which came out the same year, I think, as Josie and the Pussycats, both of them have kind of the same kind of comment on culture, I think.
It's yeah.
It went into different, maybe in different nuances.
Ghost World's more like the grungier version of what Josie and the Pussycats is. It's poppy and
There's no du jour in this
it's
movie.
no
the
du jour.
hipster. No, there is. Blues Hammer is like a du jour. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Blues Hammer means friendship.
And you know, they're juxtapositioning that the chicken restaurant stuff with that. Like that's part of it.
Yeah.
Because they're literally singing these white kids are singing about picking cotton.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I mean, it's just so like
It's reappropriation.
talk
man.
about appropriate. Yeah, that's what
When that happened, I actually rewound it because I was like, "Did he really just
You
say
say picking cotton?
Are you
Yeah.
serious?" I was like, "Wow,
y'all
You're
ready
totally
for some
cotton."
real Delta blues?
It was so
No,
oh,
no,
man.
no, dog. No.
Ugh.
But yeah, it's fine though. It's a decent film for that. So that's all I gotta say, man. That's it. We're good.
Gotcha. What about you, Brian? What do you think about the style and structure?
Well, as far as the structure, like I mentioned earlier, I think they did what they had to do to make it a movie as opposed to the comic, and it was good structure. I was never bored. I mean it. Moved along, followed everything. I thought that part was really really solid, and the style was great. I mean they brought in all the elements from the comic a lot too, like the Satanists, they even had them, with the hair the same. And then like even the new stuff to me fit the original concept stuff because like when they went into that zine store, which, I mean, they had a bunch of Daniel Clowes' work in there and stuff like that. And then
Some Peter Bagg on there too, I noticed.
Yeah. And then, and some of it I think was stories that were mentioned in one of his books that weren't even real comics. They just had stories that they were talking about in there. Like, I thought that was really cool. Crap, I had another, dang it. Sorry, a little out of it tonight. I don't know.
All right.
I loved everything about it. Sorry.
Brooks.
Too many overhard eggs, eh?
Yeah.
I haven't even done the bit yet. You know what I'm saying? Brooks, what do you think, man?
I like the style of this movie. I mean, it reminded me a lot of Clerks a lot in a lot of ways, especially with the establishing shots. But this movie, I mean, it is a comedy from the early 2000s, and it shows, but it's a unique kind of comedy, or I guess dramedy, I guess you would say.
Yeah, it's more so a dramedy. Yeah, I didn't laugh as much, but yeah, I get the thing too.
Yeah, so like I think it does a good balancing with the drama and the comedy, so that you don't get too, you still get your laughs, but you also get your your pathos as well. And I mean, as far as it goes, I think this is probably the best dramedy I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. Which I'm not like exactly an expert on dramedies or anything, but I mean, if I was, I would still probably say this one's one of the best.
I've seen it listed as dark comedy. And
I
I'm
can
like,
see that,
I don't
yeah.
think anything in particular is dark about the film, though. Like a dark comedy to me.
really.
It's
is
cringy.
So-
It's got cringe aspects.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What I kind of forgot about was that like that there was several scenes in there where it was uncomfortable, and that was like by design. They like really pulled off uncomfortable things really well,
Mm-hmm.
and that's, I think that's hard to do.
Seymour breaking up with Dana is like, oh, that's a level of cringe. I was just like, oh god.
I thought
Don't
it was
do it,
worth
bro.
seeing him in those fucking blue jeans, bro.
Yeah,
Don't
those blue
change who
jeans,
you
man.
are for a
Dang.
woman. Those blue jeans do not work for you, man.
No,
No.
they do not. No,
He's
they do
like,
not.
what do I know about pants?
Nice having somebody else do the thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many people you seen get in relationships and like justify their patheticness like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Dude,
I don't
why are you wearing
really
clown
have
shoes?
I don't really have anything in common with this person, but nobody else said yes, I guess. So this is just what I'm stuck with. I don't know. I guess maybe Enid helped him. Who knows? But Enid also sees in him the lesson of where not to go. Like you can still be a cool hipster, but you don't have to be Seymour. if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, the movie does bring in some
Poor Steve
cringe,
Moore.
some uncomfortableness, just
That's
like
a lot.
the fucking book does. They're talking
Yeah.
about goddamn
Yeah.
CG,
Yeah.
you know.
Kitty porn.
Yeah,
Surprisingly,
so like,
they didn't use that in the movie.
what do you mean surprisingly?
They did have that character,
they just
but he
went
wasn't
until
as
all the fucking
shocking.
let's dig up the racist history of fucking Americana. That's what they went with in this one instead.
Yeah.
To throw that fucking hypocrisy of American society out there, you know. And I don't know. I think it's an interesting way to look at it. Let's talk about the music real quick before we get too much into the themes. So the soundtrack is absolutely amazing. Now the score is done by David Catay, and I don't know much else that he's done, but I will say that they use a lot of old school music in the movie, but the score you get, which is that piano shit, it sounds almost like House of Yes type scoring, right?
It's
Where
like
it's
a
all
cello with a little
like
piano.
with the little piano,
Yeah.
and it's haunting. And it's a movie called Ghost World, and it's not about ooh ghosts, but it is about the haunted nature of our past, right? Like we were talking about on Friday for Comics Revisited, where I was like, each moment, as soon as you label it a moment, is gone, and it's a ghost world, right? And when you see your world as you're growing up, you're seeing your favorite places get demolished, your favorite theaters
Yeah.
get demolished, your baseball stadium get fucking renovated, your strip malls everywhere, 50s diners playing fucking hip hop music and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so weird. So the music in the score really captures that haunted fucking nature. Then, y'all, from the very beginning, that Muhammad Rafi song, the Jean P. Chan Ho,
Yeah.
coming on a ho, no.
That was
Dude, I've
awesome.
been listening to this soundtrack all fucking week long. I keep fucking playing it. And then Devil Got My Woman by Skip James. Come on, y'all. That shit's so good.
It was a
And
beautiful song.
I understand why she gets fascinated with that, because there's been times in my life where I got zoned into a culture I wasn't a part of that existed before me. Like when I first started hearing like some of that 60s, 70s stuff, like when you first hear like the Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, and like to us, that's like otherworldly. That's from a fucking distant time back in the ancient history of mankind. You know, it was like 10 years before we were fucking born. But like sometimes you just can't, like, I remember after watching Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, going and listening to Robert Johnson shit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Me too. It's
You know what I'm saying?
amazing.
Like, it just blows you away. So I understand her fascination. They use music so fucking well here, including the Blues Hammer smash hit, Picking Cotton Blues. What about you, Jelani? What do you think about the music in this film?
Oh God. I loved it. It was really nice. It was really nice to watch. I will call it what Brooks calls a dramedy, and have this type of music play, especially just old blues. That feeling, the sadness of that song. Oh my gosh, you feel it. Like, of course, the book doesn't portray it like that. The way what her favorite song was, but this is the song that she was hearing, and it's brilliant. I love it. I love Blues Hammer now. I didn't know I would.
If you listen to that, it's so
I love
fucking
it.
bad. But what's crazy is you think those are musicians trying to craft a bad song. It's actually brilliant.
Yeah. It's the producers.
The fucking guitars like it's so fucking ridiculous. Don't listen to it with headphones. It will like stab you. It's like smelling fucking ammonia straight on or something, man. It's terrible.
But you gotta enjoy it, man. But yeah, I like the music just fine. The score was done well. I did like that piano and the cello in the background at the beginning, and I absolutely love the music at the beginning.
Yeah.
That
John
oh my
P. John
gosh,
Ho.
that was nuts. I was like, oh my god,
I'm like, I need more shit like that. Can I get some more Indian surf rock? Like, Jesus Christ.
Who knew that
We're
that
gonna
was
get
a
more of
thing?
that. Yeah,
That
that's
was
shit's
insane. But yeah, I liked it.
Hell yeah. What about you, Brian? What'd you think about the music in the film?
I mean, same as y'all. I mean, I like the score a lot. You know, it worked, really well for what was going on. And I need to go back and check it out though. Like, just by itself, I did want to check that out. I just haven't had an opportunity, but yeah, that that one blues song, that was dope. I could see, they picked a solid one for her to get hooked on. But I also I really liked the fact that they used "What Do I Get" by the Buzzcocks.
What do I get?
Because it's obviously a late 70s punk rock aesthetic and not a 90s wannabe, right?
Right. But yeah, I mean, I've always loved that song a lot, and I think it kind of speaks to the theme too. What do I get? And it's just I don't know. I thought that was a brilliant use of it, and I was,
Well, the Buzzcocks really made music lyrically. If you listen to his lyrics, very much like what Enid's going through.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like all of their music, not just that one. Like if you listen to "Believes," one of my favorite songs by them. Like in the ultimate refrain on that is, "I believe that there is no love in this world anymore." Like and it's like that's like that. Watching this movie in those days corresponded with me getting into the Buzzcocks. I was getting into the Buzzcocks and introduced to some of that stuff, and I was really into it. So hearing "What Do I Get" was cool as shit because I'd never heard Buzzcocks and I'd just gotten into them, right? So like, if you never listen to the Buzzcocks, listen to "Believe." That's one of the most fucking important songs from that era in punk rock music I've ever heard. I love that song. Glad you mentioned the Buzzcocks. I almost forgot that they were spotlighted because they're not on the official soundtrack if you buy it.
Oh, are they not?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it does have the Jean Pechan Ho. Da 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 da.
How could it not?
Brooks, what do you think about this music in the film?
It's good. Like I like the score that it's pretty much throughout the movie. It's used sparingly, which is, I think, to the good, because this movie is a lot about about little moments, and you want the music to fit the moment and not feel intrusive, and the whole cello with the little ding ding pianos, like it's only used like when it's necessary. And I think it works really well, and all the other songs too, like the blues songs, the punk songs, like they all fit. Nothing feels like it's out of place or jarring. And I mean that's the sign of a good soundtrack,
Yeah.
And it perfectly complements the movie that it's set to. It doesn't feel like they just had a bunch of pop songs and they just had to kind of jam them in the movie some way. It's like everything was there for a reason, and it was good.
Perfect soundtrack for hipsters.
Yeah.
And it
I
was
was into it before it was big.
It was told to me too that in the Crumb documentary, which I haven't seen in years and years and years, Robert Crumb goes on and on about how he just loves this old blues music, and like no music outside of that is comparable. Like, so why even fucking bother? Right. Well, it's because you don't fucking know about Blues Hammer, my friend. That's why.
Yeah.
All right. Time to talk about the theme of the movie. We'll probably be repeating some of the things we said on Comics Revisited because the themes are very similar. But Jelani, what is this movie saying to you?
This says to me, well, like it said before, but this one I really understand and take to heart. The only constant in this world is change. And you're going to have to change one way or another. It's like transitions, moving from one thing to another. And each character in this movie actually does that a lot. More so Enid and Seymour, I think, and Rebecca. Just going through, finding what is necessary for you to survive and then keep surviving. It's changes like this will always happen. We all go through them. We're not the same people we were 10 years ago. We're not all the same, the same people we were 20 years ago. So it's basically a constant movement, and how, like you said before, how memories appear. The moment happens and it passes, and it happens so often, and you don't really notice it. There, especially with the chicken thing, especially with the music, especially with friendships that go by, because like there are people like even 20 years, 20, 30 years ago that I would have talked to. I don't talk to anymore. and you lose those friendships. You lose that connection.
Yeah. You used to be my ride
people,
or die.
Yeah.
Used to be in my left titty.
Used to be my dog. He was in my left kitty.
Scream
Ride
ride or
or
die.
die.
With me.
Found out you a bitch. You can't even ride with me. Now there's a
Now there's a
war.
war and you ain't on the
You can't ride
side.
with me.
That's DMX, Brian.
Okay.
Just so you know.
My wife would have gotten that.
But
Just because I love my jerky.
but yeah, it's the only constant in this world is change. That's why I got further.
I used to feel like the only constant in this world was DMX. Sadly, we lost him.
Yeah,
We did.
it's a shame.
That is the ghost world. Brian, what about you? What's this movie saying to you?
Well, yeah, it's like, well, when we were talking on Saturday, one of the themes that I feel like was part of the theme expanded on was the nostalgia thing, and the idea of collecting. I think that was added to this whole kind of study of the past kind of aspect of the storyline, and the whole like I mentioned earlier with with Seymour and the collection, and you mentioned it too, where like this is where she could end up, right? If you go down a similar path, and another thing on the collection thing is like even with comic books, collecting, you can get into eras where there's a lot of material that's offensive.
Yeah, for sure.
That wasn't offensive then, to the audience that it was sold to, but
they loved it.
Yeah, but
just think how many times they say
there's problematic
retarded
stuff.
in this movie. Didn't that make you uncomfortable a little bit when you're like, we're not supposed to say that anymore? What do you like? If that's what everybody said that shit back then.
Yeah,
The
I'm not big. Yeah, not fond of that term anymore, and like window liquor and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, not a big fan.
Yeah,
I've never heard that one.
I hadn't heard that one.
I wish
People
I knew
still
that
use
one
it.
20 years ago.
Yeah, but I thought that was a good.
I'm just kidding.
I thought that was a good thing to put those things in there. About like you were saying, highlighting the past. There are good things from it, but there's also a whole lot of bad things. That hopefully we're moving on from and incrementally moving on. Maybe a little bit.
Well, we ain't
going to
move on if all we do is just slap a new fresh coat of paint over the racism of yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I think it speaks hard on that. And then I also thought, there's a more focus on the art world, in this than the comic, which I really liked. I like, how they brought those, the art teacher, with,
Like your artistic rival with
Yeah.
the coat hanger sculpture.
it's just like
Or the
you listen to people,
tampon in the cup or whatever.
Yeah.
just making up stuff about what they're doing.
Stamping on a woman's
people-
right to choose.
Yeah.
On a whim. She gets the poster on a whim.
She's
It's
that
just
fucker in health class that would like fucking bullshit through a fucking poster board presentation, and you spent fucking weeks getting real pictures of a decrepit lung and shit. Fuck it. God damn it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That sounds
Those
close
wounds
to
from
home.
high school are still fresh.
Mine are in
Yeah.
middle school, and they were all awful. So
I had to take health twice. And then
Oh,
bullshit,
man.
I failed health the first time. Oh my God.
Bill Hill.
There's nothing worse than being a fucking junior in a sophomore class. There's nothing worse. Nothing worse. What about you, Brooks? What do you think? What's this movie saying to you?
I think a lot of it has to do with how the relationships between people can sometimes be out of our control, because Enid starts off like her relationship with Seymour is like she humiliates him, and then she talks to him, and then he gives him once he gives her that record, and she gets obsessed with that song, and then that starts a whole new thing, and now then all of a sudden she's feels like she has to make things right. She wants to make it so he's neck deep in pussy, so to speak. And
Jesus.
and I love how prudish she is about shit sometimes too. It's like that whole generation gap. She says all these crude things, and he's just he doesn't get it. But at the same time, there are also hints that he was kind of like her back when he was young. When he's talking about when he was doing all the research into the chicken place. I was interested in that when I was young, and then I started working there.
Yeah.
And like another thing I thought was interesting is like, you know, the whole, and it's from the book too, is the punk who's the sellout punk who's like, I'm gonna get inside the system, I'm gonna become successful and fuck up shit from the inside. And like, you know, that guy's just like, you're like, yeah, right, you're just gonna like make a bunch of money and then you're gonna be like, I'm fine with it now that I'm in charge, you know.
That guy's in middle management right now, bro.
Yeah.
Changing nothing.
And that guy's a dickhead boss now.
Still going home and watching the CG porn.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like I think the relationship between Enid and Seymour is like, it's so complex, you know. That's what makes it so interesting, is that, you know, they go through a whole thing, like, you know, and it just happens, you know. It's kind of beyond both of their control. And, you know, they both, in a way, you know, they both get hurt, but, you know, that's kind of part of the experience too, you know. Sometimes you get close to people and, you know, even though it might end up hurting you in the short term, you know, like you look back and think like, oh, you know, I'm glad I met that person. Like, you know, it's like she told him, like, you're my hero. And I think, you know, that's good. It's good to, you know, to connect with people.
Yeah. I get you.
I just hate he has to go back and live with his mom. That thing just made me sad. I don't know what it was. It's like she ruined his life.
Sell a couple fucking records from your personal collection, and you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, I think Seymour's better off actually from having gone through that experience.
Maybe.
Like, you think he kind of realized how pathetic his life was?
I don't know, man. I think I think Seymour is the warning of Enid's path gone too far. The point past the point of no return.
Yep.
Right. And in the, I don't know. What's that?
Because that kind of stuff can isolate you badly. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of, you know, sorry.
And maybe her going off, maybe we don't know where that goes. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about on Comics Revisited, she represents the running away from the town. Rebecca represents the giving into the town, right? But what I like about this one is that Rebecca has a plan. Enid is rebellious by nature. And sometimes those of us who are rebellious by nature will rebel against things that we shouldn't.
Right.
Like going to the dentist, like getting an apartment, like not dyeing your hair green before you have a very fucking important meeting. You know, shit like that, right? I really, really relate to Enid in this fucking movie. You know what I'm saying? And and I don't look at those aspects of my personality as necessarily a good thing. But there is the way that you can avoid certain pitfalls and not wind up as Seymour. I didn't wind up as Seymour. You know, I do live alone at 40 years of age with a giant collection of Star Trek novels.
You do.
But I have had, I think, more life experiences, more purpose, more ambition, drive, and joy than the Seymour character has, right? And I hope that that's the path that Enid gets to. On the other hand, there's nothing wrong with Rebecca's path because she didn't want to, she wanted to be on her own. And, you know, when you're a teenager, what better fucking idea is there? All I wanted when I was a teenager was my own fucking apartment. Well, congrats, Robbie. You got it. All right. Now it's time to move past that. I hope that Rebecca's progression continues. And I hope that Seymour does find, you know, he hits rock bottom, has to move back in with his mother and all that stuff. But at the risk of repeating myself, the idea that every moment, everything you love, this moment, it's gone. It's nostalgic. It's a ghost world. We talk about Horror Fest 2019 with like joy in our hearts. Like, you remember back then, you know, and things like that. And also the paint over of the past. Like it is like, it's easy for me to be like movies, comics, and music. Everything I love about art was better back then. People cared more. It was still corporatized back then. There were still people doing jobs. There was still all this and all that. There was still bullshit, right? And don't ever think that just because it was a simpler time means that it was a better time.
Right.
Not for all of us.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's another point that this movie is making outside of what the graphic novel is making as well. But I think all in all, it's about being a hipster and learning to also be part of the world. When you hate the world, how do you exist in it? I don't fucking know. Hold
Even
on. to what
hipsters
you
got to
want.
eat, bro.
Yeah, you know it, man. You know it. But
Even before it was cool.
yeah, all that shit. So there you go. All right, time to rate the movie out of 5 possible you digs. And if you out there in the chat have seen this movie, let us know. What do you give it out of 5 you digs? Jelani, you go first. Kick us off.
Well, like this whole journey in the ghost world, it's not my genre of book. I'm not really into the indie scene. It didn't really, pull me in like I thought it would, but it did do a good job of telling me a good story. So for this, for the book as well as the movie, I'm gonna give it a 4. 4 you digs.
Solid. Fantastic.
It's a fantastic little film there. I was surprised that probably 20 years ago I wouldn't have watched it, but now that I've seen it, I really enjoyed it. I'll probably watch it again, simply for Thora Birch. But on top of that, the story was great, and
Yeah.
it's a little cringy at times, and it has its moments. But yeah, it's still an enjoyable film. I'll still watch it again, so I'll give it a 4.
Hey, you guys want to check out some reggae tonight?
Yeah, I love that line. Yeah.
It's from the book.
Hell yeah. I think it will grow on you too. The more you read the book and watch the movie, I think
after
it
reading
might
it
grow on you.
twice, I love it.
Yeah.
I love the book.
But I know Jelani, and I didn't know him in high school, but I knew Jelani in high school. I knew of him, right? And Jelani is not an Enid or Rebecca. I'll tell you that.
No.
Jelani was like in the middle of fucking everything.
He's the friend that always like just pops up out of nowhere, and they're like trying to not look at her.
Melora?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be more, yeah.
Hey, you guys.
Hey,
Dude,
guys.
we're-
Excited?
They cast the perfect Weird Al for this movie too, man. I was just like,
Yeah.
this is exactly how I pictured this motherfucker from
Yeah.
that book, man.
With that hair and everything.
Yeah, they did.
Got it down pat.
My name is Alfred. I'll be your waiter tonight.
Oh, can we call you
Love
Weird Al?
Brian, out of 5 you digs, what do you give Ghost World?
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with 5 because I've got nothing to nitpick about it. And it also made me realize that I was incorrect in my rating of the book the other night. I was dumb. I overthought it. I should have done a 5 as well.
He
And
did come into the deep the other day and like
Get
have
in
a
lockstep,
conversation with me
bud.
about this. He was like, "Yo,
Yeah.
I overthought my rating."
Yeah, I thought about it way too much. And I mean, I can't nitpick anything about either the movie or the book. And both of them are things that I want to reread and rewatch. Like I do want to go back and do that all again. I want to, like I said, no complaints. And I mean, like all the choices in it, because like, I guess what I appreciate about both of them is that there was a lot of thought put into everything. Like, nothing was just thrown away. There's no wasted space in either thing, and that's pretty rare. That's pretty rare. So, and also, I don't know if we're doing a final thoughts, but if you haven't seen the movie, make sure to watch all the way through the credits, because then you'll get that power fantasy superhero thing if you need that. Did you guys see that?
No.
Wait, are you fucking around me? There's something at the end of the credits.
Yes.
God damn it!
For real?
I've
None
never
of you
seen,
saw it?
Never. No. Why would, dude?
I would have watched
Why
it
would I
in
ever
We
watch
didn't do
past
that
the
back in the
credits on
day.
an indie film?
2001. Yeah.
They're not very long. They're not like 10 minutes like today. It was only like 4 or 5 minutes.
Bro, the movie's over. I didn't know there was a post
Yeah,
credits.
there's a
What is
movie,
it?
It's over.
You got homework then, I guess, man.
God
Do you want me
damn,
to tell
Brooks,
you?
give me back my Blu-ray.
They redo the scene in the gas station and Seymour wins. He like fights back and wins.
Oh shit! Are you serious?
Yes.
You made up all of this. I don't believe
I'm
it.
not even bullshitting. I had no clue.
believe it.
I feel like I did when I found out there was a post credits on He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's
I
wild.
didn't.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
so Brian gives it a 5 and retroactively gives the book a 5. Brooks, what about you, man?
I give it a 5 too. I like this. Like I love this movie, and I love the book, and I'm glad that I hadn't actually think that the time between, like if I'd have seen this back when it first came out, like if you'd have turned me on to this like back in the early 2000s, I probably would have still liked it, but I don't think I would have like appreciated it as much as I did from having been exposed to it now after all this time has passed.
Yeah.
Because it's that, the nostalgia factor, I guess, the looking back kind of.
And look how prophetic it is too, Brooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah. They were
it's
just
like looking
seeing
back
the
at
rise
yourself,
of
like
the
or
strip
aspects
mall.
of your own personality from back in the day.
Yeah.
And you see like how you were such kind of a snarky asshole a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I do want to go
But
ahead
it
and
was
take this
okay.
moment. I want to take this moment to publicly apologize that out of 2001, I made y'all watch Josie over and over and not Ghost World.
Yeah.
So that's a failure in mine. It's a failure on me.
In High School Musical.
Yeah, like,
Don't
I remember
forget
you
it.
mentioning Ghost World like once, I think. You're like, oh yeah, that's a good movie. But like it never, you didn't like, you weren't like, oh, we need to watch it now. But yeah, I think it's for the better though, because I really liked it a lot. I think I liked it a lot more than I would have if I had,
Well, all you read back then, I mean, let's be honest, all you read in comic books back then was like fucking X-Men and some other bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
read like Dragon Ball.
the most indie book you read was probably Preacher at that point.
Yeah, it's
Preacher
Sandman.
good.
It's easy to get people into
And
Preacher.
Sandman. Yeah, it is. Yeah. That show is trash though.
Um,
We'll get that later.
I'm going 5. 5 you digs. 5 you digs. I think it's really good. I think it's incredibly well done. I think it's one of the most near perfect adaptations of a comic book onto film because it takes the heart and it brings some things out. There are elements that I would wish were different and more like the comic, but at the same time, there are elements in the comic that I wish were more like the movie. But that they both stand on their own as two pieces of art. And I really think that it led to Daniel Clowes having more notoriety in the industry outside of comics. And I think that's a really good thing. I think it's a good thing. I think more people need to get into this and let's get a return to independent cinema, please. Because in the 90s and the early 2000s, we had a lot of good indie films and we don't anymore. Or maybe we do and we just don't know anything about them. You know what I'm saying? So surely not every good movie is produced by A24. Surely there's got to be something else, right? It's got to be something else. Anyway, so a 4 from Jelani, 5 from everybody else, a 4.73. Nice.
Respectable.
Two Gun Pedro says, first time watching, I gave it a 3.5 plus a 0.69 for Thor and Scarlet. What about Mullet? What about Mullet Nunchuck dude, though, man? I don't know, man. That deserves a whole 0.11 right there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. All right. Thus concludes our review of Ghost World. Join us next week, y'all. Guess what we'll be talking about next week? Dick Tracy. That's right. It's another comic book adaptation, comic strip adaptation, whatever. Chester Gould's Dick Tracy. I haven't seen that movie in so long, but I remember it as being one of the most important comic book movies of the 90s.
I remember the McDonald's promotion with the little scratch-off things where you'd collect the wanted posters and shit.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah,
I
man.
remember that.
You're reaching deep. I remember the toys. I still got them. I got some of the toys.
Them expensive toys.
Show and
Good
Tell is going to
God.
be good next week. I'll tell you that. I don't have the Breathless. That thing's the most expensive one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brooks
Or
Mahoney.
my bad, the blank. It's the blank, but it was the first movie spoiler figure, I think, that they literally talk about that because the Phantasm figure was a movie spoiler because you could see from the package that it was a chick, because the mask wasn't on her. But they did the same thing with the Breathless figure. They're like, there's a package where it shows you remove the mask and it's Madonna. You're not supposed to know that the blank is Madonna. And if y'all haven't watched Dick Tracy yet, spoilers, sorry, but that movie's
I
like
haven't seen it.
movie's like 30 years old, y'all. All right.
You're watching it.
But
I'm not
before
watching
that,
it now.
join us for Dylan's Horror Show on Saturday before that, because we're talking about the latest movie from A24, X. This movie is awesome. Y'all need to check it out. And do check out Comics Revisited for Ghost World. We already did that video on Friday. Check out that replay if you want to check out our thoughts on the book. All right, we'll be right back after this brief intermission for PCP Back Chat and a little bit of show and tell. John Pei Chan Ho. La da 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 da. Jumanamanantam. Da 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 da. Da 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 na 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 da na 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 da na 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 da. Don't check it home boom.
I need a
John
mask
Pei
for
Chan
that.
Ho. Na
All
na na
that.
na na. Da na na na
And
na
a tuxedo.
da na 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 na. One chicken down. Nice shorts, Brian.
Oh, thanks.
Very sexy.
I salute your shorts.
Ooh. Welcome to PCP Back Chat, everybody. This is a show after the show. Real quick, I got to ask first, Brooks, have you seen the Thor trailer yet?
I have not.
Bro, you need to go watch that trailer because we're about to talk about it, bro.
Oh man,
Man.
I haven't seen it. Hold on, give me a second.
Y'all haven't, nobody
did.
but me has seen. Okay, me and Brian. Y'all watch the trailer.
Hold on. Give me a second.
I
Mute your
loved it.
shit so we don't pick up the audio.
Duh. I'll be back.
I was excited.
I knew Brooks wouldn't have seen it. Brooks is like, what? There's a Thor trailer? I like it.
Yeah,
I like the trailer.
I like that bit with Chris Pratt and Thor.
Yeah, I do too.
He's like,
Where he's
"No,
like-
just looking. That's one of the best things about that Hemsworth as Thor, though, is like the humor that he brings to it is actually pretty dang good. You know, it doesn't seem like it's necessarily out of place. You know,
I love it that we're getting a live reaction from both of them right now. You can just imagine, like, they just started playing Guns N' Roses because Jelani started, like, bobbing his head. Brooks is like, how can I turn off Robbie's fucking obnoxious voice? I'm trying to watch this trailer. We'll wait to talk about it till they finish. So we'll just be like, so are you excited that you dived into Ghost World, bro?
me, absolutely, yeah, yeah. Well, you know, you've been stocking those shelves pretty well in there, and so it was something I always wanted to read. That's why I just picked it up because I was like, yeah, I've always wanted to read it. So.
Are you saying that the Deep Comics and Games, the store in which I manage, has one of the best graphic novel selections out there?
Yeah.
Bruh, I know. Thank you. All the Daniel Clowes I can stock. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
We even got some Chris Ware up in there.
Yeah.
Have you checked that out yet?
I've unfolded the bookcase, or the, what do you call it? The slipcase.
Yeah.
Did you know those fold out?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I tried to read it, and it's actually kind of telling a story, but I couldn't exactly tell where to start. But I think that might be the point. I read through the first couple pages, and I'm ready to get into it. But
Hell yeah.
I'm pretty excited for that one.
It looks great, man.
I'm
great.
back. Sorry, it was great. I loved it. It was freaking awesome. Sweet child.
I think Brooks is finished too.
Yeah.
Y'all finished? All right. Now we're going to talk about that Thor trailer. Jelani, what do you think about it, man?
Man, I love that, man. Oh, it's great. Oh my god. Like, and you don't get Jane Foster till the end. I like that. I like it a lot. I like the way she looks. I like the look of the way Thor is like lost all that weight. How he lost all that weight. How he's a Ravager now. It's cool. I like he's a part of that little family of Guardians of the Galaxy. This is like
Bruh.
a Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
2.5 in there.
I've been saying this all day, and I'm going to continue saying this. I will watch 12 episodes of a show of Chris Hemsworth Thor and Chris Pratt Star-Lord in a buddy
Yep.
cop movie. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Do it.
James Gunn, get on it.
Yep.
Look into the eyes of the person you love.
Yeah.
Not me.
I'm just listening to you talk. Like those two work so well together. They did it in Endgame.
Yeah.
Man. Like they work so well
Yeah.
together, man. It's so funny.
Yeah.
They're making
So
Star-Lord
funny.
endearing again because he was hated because of Infinity War.
I just like the idea of Thor. You know what? Just gonna enjoy retirement. I've been through a lot of shit. Both my parents have died. My brother's gone. My sister's evil. My hammer's gone. I just went through all this shit. You know what? I think I deserve a break. And nope, that ain't gonna happen. So
Was Thor even in that trailer?
I didn't notice him when
Gore
I
was
first
there.
saw
No.
it, but
I think I saw
I
it.
didn't see it.
Gore was in
Footage of
there.
Gore.
I'm sure that they're going to put it in there. I mean, I'm sure we saw it and probably missed it because they have to have him in there somewhere,
it
right?
might be. Did you see the?
Is he the villain?
Yeah, Gore's the villain. It's Christian
Gore's
Bale.
villain. Yeah.
Really? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, did you not see? Have you guys seen what he like looks like? Apparently, there's like a leak from like a toy
Yeah.
or something.
The toy is
looks
awesome.
fucking not right. Looks
like it.
fucking off.
Really?
It looks
I
off.
like it.
Looks
I
way
like
off.
it.
See if I
Okay.
can find it.
I really like that storyline that he was introduced in. That was a great one.
Man,
That was at Jason Aaron and Esad Ribic, right?
Yeah, it was like right before they did the Jane Foster Thor arc.
Mhm.
It was the God Butcher.
Yeah, that was such a good
Just
story.
awesome. I just love this trailer. I mean, they knocked everything out of the park, man.
My
Oh,
collection's
Taika
about to get
Waititi
more
directing it?
valuable.
Yeah. This is
That's
Taika
awesome.
Waititi. He did Ragnarok. I love Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
It's my favorite Thor so far.
I'm not liking that look right there, y'all.
I don't mind it. Was he
Maybe
normal
it'll
to
work
watch
in the movie
comic?
or something.
I mean, I'm
They
sure
got a
it'll-
couple months to fix it.
I don't
It'll be
think
fine.
like,
And it's pre-production like artwork. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I have no qualms with this. That trailer, it's Marvel. It's like I'm back. They finally got me back. Like Multiverse of Madness, I still don't know what's going on with that. It's kind of up in the air. Shang-Chi was kind of meh, and Eternals was hot trash for as far as the trailer goes. So, and movie, but this feels like, I don't know, a Marvel Studios proper movie. I don't know. That's just me.
That's what he's supposed to look like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Could look better. They'll fix it. And plus, they probably didn't want to do it to make it look like your boy from Endgame.
You going to take my fucking nose away? Oh, bloody
Ebony
good
Maw,
for
yeah.
you.
Ebony Maw. He looks
Ebony
like
Maw,
Ebony
yeah.
Maw.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, you're right. He would just.
Well, he does in the comic too, though. Really,
Yeah.
actually, it's pretty similar.
Yeah, look at that. Two Gun Patriot says PCP has convinced me, so I ordered a copy of Ghost World.
All right. You're welcome.
Station.
Yeah. Good job.
Hope you like it. Brooks, what do you think about that trailer? You're probably the biggest Thor fan out of all of us.
Well, I mean, I was already excited for the movie. Like, this is probably the movie I've been looking the most forward to for a while. But I did enjoy seeing, a little glimpse of what it's going to be like. It looks like pretty much about what I've been expecting though. It's very much like kind of a continuation of that kind of mood that Ragnarok had. It's a little
That
like
Kirby-esque
lighthearted,
Yeah.
yeah, like jokey Taika Waititi type, humor.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Yeah, Taika Waititi is he's like, he has the same kind of sense of humor that I have in a lot of ways. And like I just watched Our Flag Means Death. That was a good show that he was in too. Like he's playing Blackbeard. That show is hilarious. Made me laugh so hard.
Have you seen
And
Eagle
yeah,
versus
I'm
Shark?
looking forward to it. I can't wait for Love and Thunder.
Have you seen that Taika Waititi movie, Eagle versus Shark?
No.
It's on. I think it was on Prime when I watched it for free, but and it's got that guy that was in Flight of the Conchords that I can't remember his name. He's super funny
the
too.
one- Yeah. He's in Legion. Yeah.
Yes, he is in Legion.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's awesome in Legion too. Yeah, yeah, he's the main character, and but yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure it's his first film. You guys should check it out. I would call it a dramedy, by the way.
Hmm.
So rom-com, maybe indie rom-com. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
It's
Jojo
about,
Rabbit was kind of a dramedy too.
what's that?
Yeah.
Jojo
Jojo
Rabbit
Rabbit
was
is
kind of a dramedy too.
Yeah. And it has Scarlett Johansson. Huh.
And so is Hunt for the Wilder People.
Yeah.
The only movie of his I've ever seen is Thor Ragnarok.
You
Like,
didn't watch
honestly,
the,
like,
What We
no,
Do in
I
the
like
Shadows?
JoJo babies.
I've seen
JoJo
the first
and-
season of the
No,
show
the-
for What We Do in the Shadows.
It's a movie, though.
Yeah, I know, but I haven't seen the movie. I've seen the first season.
That movie. Okay. You need to watch that.
That's what I
movie
need to watch.
terrible.
I need to watch What We Do in the Shadows.
It's so
Both the
funny.
series
I
and the
still haven't
movie.
watched
I
it.
love
Did you
the
guys
first-
watch Flight of the Conchords?
Yeah, I watched
here
it.
and there. I just like
manager?
I just like the old Greg shit.
Yeah, the manager's in our flag means death.
Okay, yeah,
Oh, the
he's in the.
Yeah.
He plays a werewolf in What We Do in the Shadows, and those scenes are fucking comedy gold, man. They're so dang funny.
Wow, he's in a lot of stuff.
I'm just
Okay.
surprised when
off,
I've seen
Ghost
something
World.
that you guys haven't seen.
Piss off, Ghost World.
It's freaking gone.
He's freaking gone. Now I've always wanted to check out more of his work, but I keep myself busy right now. I'm just hammering through Mel Brooks books, and I thought I'd be able to get my whole comic book collection merged together in one day. Brian, I got to the G's.
I told you,
I
man,
worked
that was
for
like
I
one
worked
day.
12 hours fucking straight, and my back hurt so fucking
Yep.
bad yesterday.
You're organizing your collection.
Yeah, man.
Fun.
All of those. Yeah.
I've learned my lesson though. Now, like I'll get
You
it
put them in
done.
long boxes.
You gotta keep ahead of it, bro. You gotta
Yeah, I
keep
know.
ahead of it.
That's the plan though. Like I get caught up, and I'm purging too. I'm separating stuff for the mystery boxes for the con this weekend, of which Felisa Rose did cancel, so that sucks. But I still got Kevin Eastman and Jim Starlin panels to do on Saturday.
Wait,
I'm so ready for this
Kevin Eastman? You're on the panel? You're doing the panel?
I'm modding the panel for Kevin Eastman. Yeah, 1 o'clock Saturday. Then 2
Okay,
o'clock
I'll be there.
is Jim Starlin.
Oh my god.
But I am ready. Like Jim Starlin, yeah, I think I can just push through that. But like, I'm ready for Kevin Eastman. Like usually, like I'm not trying to always be that. Like in my early days of doing modern panels, I would always just be like, I'd be like, how'd you get in the comics? Let him talk and be like, let's go to the audience, right? But that ain't gonna happen with Kevin Eastman. You know what I'm saying? Because I am ready. Like I had the first question I thought was gonna be, who's your favorite turtle? Well, I've watched the Turtle Power documentary right now that's on Paramount Plus. If you've never seen it, watch that documentary. It's fucking awesome. And I've read all of those books with the commentaries that's in those Ultimate collections. His favorite turtle is Raphael because it's based on him. That's easy. So I'm going to ask him.
Who's his favorite turtle?
Raphael.
Who? Huh.
And Peter's is Donatello, but that's who it's based on. And apparently Michelangelo's based on Stephen a little bit. But I think my first question is going to be about the Batmobile, because I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but everybody talks about how he bought a tank. He bought a military tank, but like he bought one of the Batmobiles from the 89 movie and like would ride it around. I just want to be like, first of all, do you still have it? Second of all, if you do, can we go cruising around?
Yeah,
Like I got some
why not?
places I can show you. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? I'm sure he sold it by now. This dude, it's so crazy, Kevin Eastman, because I don't want to like go into territory that maybe I shouldn't. Like, I'm not going to be like, so what's the deal with you and Rick Deitch? I'm not going to touch on that shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, I really want to know like a lot about the Tundra shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to get too into it, but I do want to be like, I think Kevin Eastman is such a fucking inspiration for like anybody, whether it's comics or not. Like, these fuckers made a goddamn ridiculous parody comic called Teenage
A
Mutant Ninja
little
Turtles
joke sketch.
and changed the fucking world, bro. And that is a property unlike Transformers, unlike G.I. Joe, unlike She-Ra, unlike Jim and the Holograms, unlike He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This one literally captivates each generation that's come along.
It's a phoenix.
Mhm.
It's constantly
Keeps
reviving
driving.
itself.
Always.
It's
I
ridiculous.
never knew. I thought it was like a niche thing that was going to stay in like the 90s and 2000s and just go away. But they've always found a new medium. They've always reached kids on some level. You're absolutely right. It's
I'm going to be
insane.
on stage with a fucking dude who bought Heavy Metal Magazine, who was married to Julie Strain, who was like fucking bought a tank, bought the fucking Batmobile, had sold it all. And now at the end of the day, you know what Kevin Eastman does now? He works on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics as work for hire. What the fuck? What a goddamn journey.
It's like the Nicolas Cage of comic book guys.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Like, I almost want to, on
Been
a
around
personal
forever.
level, like when I have a moment with him, be like, I almost want to be like, are there regrets for selling out to Peter? Not that he's a sellout, but like he sold his stuff to Peter. Peter sold it to Nickelodeon. Now Nickelodeon owns the Turtles, but like he's now working on Turtle books, and he has been for years. Brooks reads them. He's doing Last Ronin right now. So he's doing work for hire work on the fucking shit he created. It's almost like the goddamn, what was it? The fucking Japanese figure, or like G.I. Joe got bought by the Japanese company. They made that like into like their Diaclone or whatever the fuck it was. That eventually got bought by Hasbro for fucking Micronauts. So like they just like sold a design to Japan. They did something with it, and then Hasbro bought it back. Like it's a weird circle of life. That's what they were talking about at the beginning of Lion King. The journey of Kevin Eastman. Like, isn't that wild? Dude, he said, dude, when he got rid of Tundra to Kitchen Sink, he didn't sell to them. He paid them $2 million to take Tundra from him. Like, that is some wild shit. Like, I watched the kayfabe. They went through the issue of Comics Journal where it's the Gary Groth interview with Kevin Eastman. I've gone through that like 4 or 5 times over the last month. Like, it is fucking wild, the journey this dude's been on.
I cannot to give someone a property.
Yeah, basically. So, you know, he did Tundra, right? And Tundra was going to be creator-owned books, but he wanted to give the voice out for it. Peter Laird did a grant, right, that he gave out to cartoonists each year. The Zert grant or something like that. Tom Scioli got one, right? But what Kevin Eastman did was he started Tundra. And basically what the idea is that when the Turtles took off like it did, he wasn't allowed to be a cartoonist anymore. You know, he had to deal with lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. Like,
oh, wow.
Like the Howdy Doody guys sued them for the usage of the word cowabunga. Everybody who came up with any idea close to, eventually the Fred Wolf Animation Studio sued them because they said that they designed everything that made the Turtles the smash hit. So like every day was dealing with this shit. So he couldn't draw anymore. And you get the idea that he started Tundra because he just wanted to produce comics. And so the deal at Tundra at that time was 80-20. Creator got 80%, we get 20. And his uncle, who gave them their first $1,000 loan to publish the first print run of Ninja Turtles, like, so his uncle was like brought on as like the business manager or something like that. And he goes, you can't do this. You'll run out of money. And it's like that Citizen Kane shit, you know, where he's like, well, if I have to spend this much money each year, we'll go out of money. We'll run out of money in like 90 years or some shit. Well, it's obviously not the way it happened, just like with Charles Foster Kane. This dude went through a fucking Citizen Kane journey. Like, this is crazy. Like this, he hit the highest heights. The highest height. Not, he's not at a low at all. No. I mean, I'm sure this dude's fucking got, you know what I'm saying? This dude's
he's
probably
doing
like, totally fucking good. I'm sure, man. But I don't know, man. What a weird journey. So when he did Tundra, the initial plan because he had Rick Veitch and Steve Bissette on board, and they were going to do 5 books for the first year, then expand out to 10 for the next year. Right? Brat Pack by Rick Veitch was produced there.
Okay. That was good.
So they took on The Crow and did the finale of The Crow there. Like they reprinted the first bit and then did the final bit. So, but what happened was he got publisher envy, he calls it, or something like that. And he just bought up anybody who came up to Kevin Eastman, like anybody who came up to Kevin Eastman and with a dumbass idea, he would be like, I'll publish your book. Like he was that into just wanting to do it all. Right. And apparently just overspent, lost like millions of dollars in 3 years on Tundra. And at the end, he gave it off. He sold it off to Kitchen Sink, basically said, I don't even want to fucking deal with this anymore. Put the guy in charge, moved it over to Kitchen Sink. And the deal was that he gave him $2 million to fund them for the next few years. And then Gary Groth in the interview is like, I understand independent small press comics. What the fuck? $2 million should produce a shit ton of work.
Yeah.
But it did. And you get the idea that this is a guy who got taken advantage of a lot. He mentions in that interview with Gary Groth that at one point, a dude who came to his house to do some remodeling or something, or some roofing, came to him and asked him to co-sign on a loan for a new house. Didn't know the guy, just some guy that did some work at his fucking house. But that's what happens when people know that somebody has money. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just what a weird fucking journey, right?
That's like how MC Hammer had that same kind of problem. It was like he was so
Yeah.
generous with his money.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
he just lost it.
I'm really excited. Y'all have any ideas of what I should ask him? Because I want to talk about the Tundra stuff, but I don't want to go too deep into it because it feels like it could be a hurtful time, right? You know,
Yeah.
but I do want to like really focus on, because he's down about creator ownership. Like that's what the Turtles represented. They were the head of that black and white explosion in the 80s, right? Like they led to so much fucking good shit. There wouldn't be Daniel Clowes or a fucking a James O'Barr if there wasn't a Turtles comic to like prove that those numbers could be met. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. What do y'all think? And you out there in the chat, if you have any suggestions.
I mean, he was a headliner. I mean, he still is, and I'm still surprised he picked our little city to come and visit. You know, it's insane. I didn't know that much about Tundra. I had no idea. Like he gave up like what he wanted to do just for being too generous. That's freaking nuts.
City, dude, we're the largest city in Alabama, bro.
Yeah, man. Seriously?
You know what else was published at Tundra for the first time? Madman.
Really?
Like Frank Einstein was first appeared in Creatures of the Id, but the first Madman comics, the first 2 series, were Tundra.
Tundra.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would give these dudes generous advances, and some people took advances and never turned in work. That's heartbreaking, bro.
That is.
And he says in hindsight, he says in hindsight he wished he would have done what Peter did, which was he set up a grant, right? Like where he gave a cartoonist money to like, you can live on a year. Here's the year of your time. Make your fucking comic. Make your graphic novel. Do it. Because that's what they did. You know, they got a loan and he wants to pay that back. Kevin Eastman still feels like a dude who just wants to pay it back. And by the way, when Gary Groth in that interview asked him why he felt the need to buy a tank, he goes, well, we do airsoft battles. me and the fellas.
He's gonna shoot airsoft out of a tank.
Apparently, yeah.
Freaking paint out of a tank. Sure. Okay.
But apparently, he said he would just like get stressed out, go and drive that shit around in the countryside. Could you? That'd be badass, right?
Just a tank.
Man, if I had a tank, dude, I'd be in that motherfucker all the time.
Right?
Yeah.
There's gonna be a table there's gonna be a sign at our booth this Saturday, by the way. It says everybody, PCP Excitable crew is at the Kevin Eastman panel right now. So join us there.
God.
That's gonna be fucking. I'm
can't wait.
I'm either
Saturday,
gonna have all this shit laid out and I'm gonna get deep into it, or I'm just gonna be like, Michelangelo's my favorite. Any of y'all have questions? It's an honor to meet you, Kevin. I'm just a huge fan. I am. I cannot
You're a
fucking
fanboy.
And he did an exclusive for I think
Wow.
TMNT 126 or whatever. He did an exclusive cover where it's the 4 turtles at the Saturn V. So that's going to be available at the con. So
I want to get that. Yeah.
pretty dope.
I
Y'all have
can't
any
believe-
questions I should ask him? What do you think I should ask him, y'all?
I'd probably ask him like what he would think, what he would see the turtles looking like in like say 20 years. Like what does he think like the
Write that
next
down for me,
iteration
man.
of the
That's a good
turtles
one.
would be?
That's a good one.
How people would switch it up and
What variations does he think
like
there
what would
be?
they add? Like maybe they'd be like
Would they be based on
they'll make
Batman
them
instead
Power
of Daredevil?
Rangers, where each turtle has a mech or something, or maybe they'll give them superpowers, something like that.
Well, they've
Make
already
them time
been
travelers, cyborgs, something.
I just wish they would get Kevin Eastman to do a fucking Daredevil TMNT crossover and the foot and the hand combine.
Yeah. I guess in a way the turtles have already been time travelers.
Yeah, they
Turtles
were
in Time,
great.
bro.
Even the original ones, they had that whole time scepter arc.
Oh yeah, they were like hopping dimensions by like
With
issue like
Renee-
5 or some
Renee.
shit. 4 or 5, man.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. What would you ask him, Brian?
I have no idea, man. It's kind of outside my wheelhouse, man.
Well, you
I
better
bought
get
some
ready
of the
because
comics when they
get
came
ready
out in
because
the 80s.
one of the things I'm going to ask him is like, hey man, would you ever want to do a conversation on pop culture philosophers? So
I'll
I'm
have
gonna
to
try
do
to
some
make that
research.
happen. Yeah, you're gonna have to dive deep, bro.
Yep.
I'll figure something
Get the
out.
dancing,
Figure something
man.
out.
I'm so fucking nervous, y'all.
Well, ask him, should I have given all of my old TMNTs to Ibrahim, or was that a mistake?
That was a mistake, bro.
It was a mistake.
I'm just gonna be like, bro,
I feel good about it.
Do you got a first print you can just hand me? Give me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I don't care.
These are some good ones. So,
yeah. Turtles is good stuff. I just don't want to ask him questions that everybody's going to ask him. You know, how did you create the turtles? We all know that fucking story. Like Brooks said, he drew a fucking stupid drawing one night to annoy Peter when he was watching a bad cop show. We all know that shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to
dive deep.
I want to try to dive a little deep without being like too personal. You know what I'm saying? Like I watched David Cho today ask Frank Miller if he was ever going to romantically get involved with Lynn Varley again. Frank Miller looks at him, he's like, that's none of your fucking business. It's good. You can check it out on YouTube. It's a good little thing. It's
maybe just to how it came out. Like, what was that? What was it like being a part of that black and white explosion? Right. I mean, that was a pretty big deal for comics then. You know, I mean, that was before Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns. You know, I mean, that started getting, a lot of stuff was blowing up. In a lot of different ways. And you had because like I like everybody else, I started off with superhero comics and everything like that. But I was right there when that black and white explosion hit. So that like opened up my eyes to a lot of different stuff. There was a lot of really cool stuff there.
Oh, for sure. And I'll get him to like talk about that. Like what other stuff, because obviously Cerebus was a big influence to him. Frank Miller, Ronin in particular, and shit like that. So like, I really want to get into Duo Shade because I think Duo Shade's the coolest fucking shit. I wish we still had it. Like me and Brooks would make some fine art with Duo Shade. I feel like we did. Like it would make us look a lot better than we actually are, Brooks. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we need. Something to make us look better.
Yeah. I think we both need iPads, and I think it will handle it nowadays. I don't know. Yeah. So much shit. But man, god damn, I just picked up I didn't pick it up, but I got it for the shop. I stocked it. But the TMNT Artisan Edition. So it's issue number 1. And it's the original fucking like art, right? So it's the boards. You see all the mistakes. You see the raw ass duotone. And there is something very special about those first like 3 issues of Turtles that have that. There's something to it. They still use the Duo Shade in the subsequent issues that they did, but there's something more gritty and raw about those first ones in particular. I've just been staring at that shit, that artwork. Like I'm so fucking fascinated with it. And the fact that him and Peter did it all, like they like, now you can tell Laird style, you can tell Eastman style, but like their style together, that's magical, man. That's like collaboration to the fucking ultimate, man.
Some Lennon McCartney shit.
Yeah, man. It's really like they become indecipherable when you look at their work together. So I like Jorm thing though. I'll be like, hey Kevin, want to get Blaze create some new worlds, bro? I got some ideas. Let me tell you about Tapeworm Boy, man. You still got some contacts at Playmates.
Ninja Turtles meet the Fantastic Four, bro.
Outside of the initial 4 Turtles, Shredder, the initial wave was Shredder and Casey Jones and April and all that shit. What's your favorite, like, random ass Turtles Playmates figure? Because they
Mutagen Man, bro.
Mutagen, bruh. Mine's Muckman.
Mutagen Man.
Mine's Muckman, but Mutagen Man. I got a complete Mutagen Man. I'm so fucking excited.
Muckman was nice too. I love the slime that you push through his mouth, and he's like,
I love Muckman, dude. Yeah. Mutagen Man's dope, though. You put the water in there, and you would have to you'd pull all those parts off, put them in there, and they would float around is the idea.
Yeah. I remember like the cartoon where he was introduced to, like he was just a scientist dude who falls into this vat of mutagen, and then you see like his body parts just floating around in this fucking mutagen vat. It's like, whoa!
It's so fucking gnarly.
I liked mine is like Usagi Yojimbo. I really like Usagi Yojimbo. I like the ears, the way the ears look like a ponytail. I like that figure a lot. I don't know where it is now, but I will find another one. And the armor, I liked his armor on that, and the purple outfit. Really like the Usagi Yojimbo figure. I hope they come out with a Super 7 version of him. That'd be nice. You got your mutagen man.
Nice.
With the little dude.
Yeah.
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 Good
The
time.
Usagi figure's dope. I have the Usagi figure still too.
I think I may still have mine, but it could be in storage. The way
I
I'm
didn't know
thinking.
this, but obviously Usagi is a Stan Sakai creation, but PandaCon is from another comic too. I didn't know that
I didn't know that either.
until recently. Yeah.
I have a PandaCon somewhere. I have all his weapons too.
I think I have a PandaCon too.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, I don't have a Usagi sword, but I think I used PandaCon sword on my Usagi when I displayed.
Because it was a nicer sword. It's a much nicer sword anyway.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian? You got one?
You're
a little too old for that.
I have no experience with this.
I don't play Ninja Turtles.
I will say that
babies, dude.
Ibrahim started up a YouTube channel, and two of his videos so far are him painting commissions, time lapses of them, but the rest are him doing his custom action figures and showing them off and then describing at length how he pieced everything together and everything like that. So you guys like action figures? He did,
bruh. That's dope, man.
And I figure you guys like action figures. I think you dig it.
Well, next time we have him on the show, if he ever comes back again after a 2.5-hour discussion on the Superman movies, we'll have to definitely talk about that, man.
I bet he would be glad to come back.
Brian told him it'd be an hour-long show.
I did.
I'm like, there ain't no way we're talking about 4 fucking movies, especially with me and Joe on the same panel.
Yeah,
and it's going to be like an hour.
Yeah, I'm dumb, man. I say stupid shit. It happens.
Bro, don't we all?
It happens.
Yeah, we do. It does happen, brother. These Toxic Crusader figures were Playmates.
Yeah. Toxic Crusaders.
In that Turtle Power documentary, either Peter or Kevin, one of them, they say, yeah, and at the time, they thought since it's in the sewer, everything's got to be about boogers and gross and toilets. But that was the thing back then.
I could tell a theme with the names of the figures you guys were talking about.
Was a big thing.
Big 80s and 90s stuff, man.
Mutagen Man's the shit. I think Peter Laird designed this one. But that's what they would do. Like all the different in-house, all that shit was done in-house. They kept the reins so tight for a long time. They had creative control and all that shit. The other thing I didn't realize until this last couple weeks, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, that's a Hong Kong production. Yeah, they got financing from a Hong Kong production company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's why they were like, I don't know, it's just some really interesting shit. I wish I had a fucking VHS of the Turtles coming out of our shells tour to get Kevin to sign. That'd be fucking dope as shit.
I wish I still had my tape, dude.
You gonna bring that poster that I gave you?
I thought about that. I thought about getting him to sign the Vanilla Ice one. How weird would that be? But he's a $30. He's a $30 signature, so I'm only going to get like a couple things signed. So
it's 30 per signature, no matter what it is.
Yeah, I think pretty sure. I want to see if he has a print, because if he has a good print of the Turtles, I want to buy that. But I do want to get him to sign something. I haven't been able to figure it out yet.
Yeah,
because I don't have a Turtles #1. I have a Last Ronin #1, but yeah, how many Last Ronins #1s have this motherfucker signed?
Yeah, I know what I'm bringing. So,
yep,
I may bring that. Actually, that other. I do have #8 still. I may bring that one.
You going to get him to sign something, Brooks?
Yeah, I reckon I'll get him some hardcover collected edition of the original stuff that was.
See, that's why I can't get my soft cover signed, because you're going to go up there and take this hardcover and get it signed. It's going to be nice, and I'm going to be like, here's my paperback version.
Trade paperback.
I told you. I remember I sold you hard. I was like, you got to get them now before they start going up.
I was like, that was one of those things where like, I'll pay it.
Yeah,
I'll pay the extra for that. It's worth it now. I've got them all nice and lined up there.
I'm really excited. They're doing a Playmates Last Ronin action figure. It's a PX exclusive.
Yeah,
I cannot wait for that thing to come out, man. It's gonna be dope. Have you read any of The Last Ronin yet, Brian?
I read the first issue.
He does the layouts on that, and you know, co-wrote the story and everything. So
I liked it. I think when it comes out in trade, I'll probably grab that.
it'll be a
Or has it
hardcover.
already?
It'll be a hardcover. Young. No, the last issue we're still waiting on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Because that first one was a while back.
Yeah, Greg, I just said that I wish I still had that. I do have Secret of the Ooze on VHS, but I don't know if he'll want to sign that one. But I love that movie. And don't forget, Greg, that next week, Dick Tracy. Greg is allegedly going to be here because he's the biggest Dick Tracy fan I know, except for Madonna and Warren Beatty.
He's probably a fan of the NES game.
Didn't they date during this? I think they dated during that.
Did they date?
Yeah, something like that.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Yep.
Those were Playmates figures, the Dick Tracy figures.
Yes, they were.
Yep. Star Trek.
Those are
Playmates were riding high off of that turtle.
Earthworm
turtle
Jim.
energy.
Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, I love those Earthworm Jim figures.
Yeah.
Their Star Trek figures are dope. I don't know what you're saying, Jelini.
Not really. They look like little. They look like little He-Men.
Bruh.
I don't know what the deal was.
You look at a goddamn Captain Card figure from 1993, and its face looks better than a goddamn Marvel Legends today, trying to look like Chris Evans. I'll tell you that.
I own one figure, and that's like Commander Benjamin Sisko on the Rio Bravo sitting in this chair. That's the only figure from Playmates I own on Star Trek.
These Playmate figures
I
are
refuse.
fucking dope, man.
Nah, son. Nah.
Look at
They look
dude.
They look like little chibi figures, man. Something about the arms aren't right. They don't look right inside,
These are
man.
fucking dope, bro. Here's my Odo.
Yeah.
Where's my Worf? I got a Worf back here.
His hands are too big.
Look, I got a Worf. Look at that.
You got a Tasha Yar. You got a Tasha Yar.
I don't have a Tasha Yar, but
I want a Tasha Yar.
I do have a fucking Morn. Remember him from DS9?
Morn from DS9. Yeah,
man.
Do you remember him from DS9?
I love DS9.
I remember fucking Morn, Brian.
DS9
I was there
is the last
first. Fuck
good
you,
Star
bro.
Trek.
I watched it when it was live coming out on TV. I was there. I remember the night it debuted. I was so fucking excited. I was like, a new Star Trek show?
It's the last. It's before it died. It's before Star Trek died. Enterprise killed it. Enterprise killed it.
I like this Morn figure.
I think it's still the only one on. I think it's the only one left on Netflix now. They dropped the Next Generation a couple weeks ago. No, DS9.
They're all on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
I don't need another streaming service.
I'm not getting another one.
I got
Tell
too
me
many.
about it.
Well, if you're on Paramount Plus, unlock a free 7-day trial. I'm sure you can find one, and watch the Turtle Power documentary because it is fucking awesome. It's good. And like, I'm not even lying. I got emotional at the end. I was like, why is the story of Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird getting me fucking emotional? This is bullshit. Like, real shit happens in my life. I'm emotionless. Like, this shit, I'm fucking Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. If they could just have been friends longer. What would the world be like? Anyway. It's almost time for show and tell, y'all. I still got that fucking song stuck in my head.
Oh, let me get this before I forget. So what do have y'all watched Moon Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm caught up on that.
Yeah. Just asking.
Why can't they just put a fucking dude in a goddamn suit with a cape? Why's it got to be CG?
Why is it got to be the worst? Why is it got to be the worst CG ever?
Why is it? It's worse. Yeah, it's terrible.
It is terrible.
Why is Mr. Knight such a fucking buffoon?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Knight's badass in the comics, man.
Yep.
He's like
I think
brutal
that's a
as fuck.
misdirect. I think
No, it's not a fucking misdirect.
I think it's going to end up being an act.
They didn't know how to use him.
I think Grant is putting on his, all shucks personality. I think that's a put on.
You're wrong.
Well,
You're wrong. Jace is going to be.
I think it's the Marvel effect.
It is the Marvel effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take something serious and you have to lighten something up. You have to have something to counterbalance it, and all this Marvel stuff. So,
y'all, we haven't really talked since this shit came out. like on one of these shows. I am so fucking worried about Blade now. Because I'm like, they're not going to do Blade right. It's going to be like Blade 3.
I watched Blade 2 last night. I was like, oh my God, they're never going to do this Marvel.
Now you got an explosive device strapped to the back of your head.
Yep. God, that movie. I forgot how much I loved Blade 2. Because I watched Blade 1 like a week ago. Just randomly. I was like, oh, it's on Netflix. Awesome. I watched Blade. So I watched all Blade. I was like, I love this movie. It's
Blade 2 so good, man.
It
Vampires
is.
were scary again.
Vampires were scary again. With like action sequence after action sequence. I was like, oh my God.
Mike Mignola doing art for that fucking shit. Bro.
Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah.
Direct Jesus. I had no idea. But
I almost hate the Hellboy movie just because we didn't get him to do Blade 3 because of that Hellboy movie.
Yep.
Could you imagine if Del Toro would have done Blade 3? Oh, God.
Yeah, it would have been great. I'd have paid money to see that, but I paid money to see all three of them. Well,
you see, I knew you were a turncoat from the fucking first moment I laid eyes.
I was laying eyes on you.
Oh,
he
man.
blew him up. It's like, it's not done.
And that bomb. It's not a done. Bruh. Blade 2's so fucking badass.
Dead, motherfucker.
I forgot Norma Reedus was in it.
Scud? Is that it? Scud or
Yeah,
Scuzz? Something like that?
It was good because it was sexy. He said it was sexy or something. I was like, jeez. Yeah, that was a good movie. Domus! That's the best name for a vampire ever. Like, oh, Domus
Dragon Eddie's the best vampire name.
Dragon Eddie.
Dragon Eddie.
Damn it, Frost. I'm talking to you.
You bore me.
You bore me. He slaps the shit out of Steven Dorff, bro.
Yeah.
Does Brian not remember the Blade movies as much as we do?
I do not.
Oh, man.
Dude, we're like a church girl at a lock-in watching Princess Bride, bro. We're gonna quote that shit like 8 times in a row.
We're like Troy and Abed from that one episode of Community. You know what, Blade Leader? Yes.
Yes. It's so good.
I haven't gotten to that part of Community either.
Dude, you'll get there.
I will.
You'll get there. Community.
I liked those movies, though. I just
Community's
haven't
awesome
seen them in
until
20
it
years.
Yeah. Blade was at the theater when I worked there. So I watched the first Blade, and not many people went to see it. I had to talk people into watching Blade. Then that word of mouth, that buzz. Yeah. Son, you couldn't keep Blade was in house one for the longest time. And the color palette was so beautiful in that movie. And then Blade 2 is red. Just all red. And I remember nothing about Blade the third Blade.
I say I liked them all. I don't think I've seen Blade 3.
Ryan Reynolds is in it. Triple H is in it. It's not good.
I don't think I've seen that.
Parker Posey's in it. It's pretty bad. It's by far, like, I try to blank it out of my mind, but I know it exists.
Yeah. Like, oh God, was like sleepwalking through the role at that point.
Yeah, I think he beat up the director in that one. I think that's the one he beat up the director. And
when he gets W-2s and he's like, "What the fuck is this?
My money. Where's my money? Paid by Texas.
I have to pay taxes on vampire hunting. It's bullshit."
Yeah, but I don't think Disney will do it. I mean, it's Mahershala Ali. I think he'll be fine as Blade. But, like, the blood, they're not going to do any of the blood. They're not going to do any of the real vampire stuff, not the sexy stuff. I mean, it depends on how Multiverse of Madness plays out, because that'll be the darkest movie that the MCU's done. But I don't know how dark they the first director wanted to go super dark, and Kevin Feige was like, hell no. So I guess Sam Raimi knows how to do that.
Make it less dark with Sam Raimi.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. That's the first test, and then we'll see how Blade is after that. Because I mean, they got a zombie Doctor Strange
to lighten up our movie.
Yeah, that's what we need, and I hope he does well. I hope it's an awesome movie or a TV show. What is Blade? A movie or TV show? It's gonna be a movie.
I think it's
a movie.
It's a movie.
Is it in the MCU or is it part of that Sony stuff?
It's in the MCU.
No, it's MCU.
Did you watch Eternals?
Yeah.
It's his voice at the end in the post credits.
When he talks
it is?
That's Mahershala Ali.
Oh.
It would have been cooler just to see him.
Then
I maybe would have fucking liked Eternals. But Because Black Knight, pointless in that goddamn movie.
Absolutely
He didn't do
pointless.
anything.
I was annoyed by that.
So stupid.
I did not
I was
like that
annoyed by
movie,
that.
man.
I don't either, man.
I hate that movie.
And I'm surprised I actually made it all the way through.
I was so mad midway. I was like, this movie hasn't started yet. This
You know,
movie ain't even started yet.
I was just bored the
This
whole
is-
time, man.
Yeah, it's boring.
I
Because
just
it's Chloe Zhao. You got
And,
Chloe Zhao to
bruh,
do that film.
and
Icarus
No.
is the goddamn bad guy. Like, what the
Not
fuck?
only is he the
man?
bad
was-
guy, I'm gonna
that
fly
was
to
so
the
weak
sun.
too. That was
Oh,
so weak,
no.
and then he just turns because of love, and I was like, that just seems so unearned. Everything just made no sense.
And you had good villains, the Deviants, but they just turned them into generic MCU fucking
The
monsters.
deviants are
Yeah.
fucking nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
'Cause
God
that one,
damn it.
That
Dana
main
kills
one,
that
like,
villain
he's
at the end. Yeah.
a big deal in the comic. He's awesome.
Oh, shit. Before we get to show and tell, Brooks, did you watch Batman yet?
I've not yet. No.
It's out today on HBO Max.
Yeah.
So.
Oh crap! I
tonight,
watched it
actually.
tonight. I didn't know that.
They'll finally be caught up on the Batmans.
So none
Yeah,
of us
it's
liked
set up.
Eternals, huh?
Mm-mm.
I thought it was all right.
You're liking it less, though, as time progresses, don't you?
It was a bit of a disappointment.
It's
Yeah.
like 2.5. I think
Nothing
if I
about that
rated it-
movie screamed Kirby except for the way the Celestials look.
Yeah,
I was gonna
like,
say
that-
that I love the way the
that movie
Celestial
needed some of that. It needed some more Kirby in there.
The
Yeah.
most Kirby Marvel movie so far has been Thor Ragnarok.
Thor
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Yeah. The color alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and those costume designs at the
Mhm.
Gladiator place. Those were
And
Everything
like
about
the
it.
set designers and the costume guys from Thor Ragnarok on that movie.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
They got nominated. They got nominated. Did they win? I think they probably won that year at the
Thor?
Oscars. I'm trying. Yeah. For Ragnarok. I don't think it won anything. I think it
Well,
was
Jack
nominated.
Kirby won when Argo swept the Oscars. Argo, fuck yourself. Remember, he did the art for that project. That
That's
art
funny.
is fucking awesome.
It's so
too.
dope, man. Have you seen the like Dayglow
Yeah.
versions of it? Yeah.
Yeah.
God, you can just stare at that shit for
Yeah,
hours.
if you guys
man.
have never seen that, look up the Jack Kirby Argo artwork. Oh my god! And yeah,
Maybe I'll bring. I have the heavy metals that they were in. I can bring that for show and tell sometime.
Nice. Yeah, you should do that.
They're-
Speaking of
they're
show and
amazing.
tell, it's time for show and tell.
Holy shit, he's gone.
All right.
I hit the wrong
Showed
button.
us.
Hit the wrong
Showed
button.
us.
First up, me.
You overhearted yourself.
I did overhard myself. All right, so I've been going through my comic collection trying to get things in order. I came across this gem of a comic that I forgot I had,
The
y'all.
holograms.
It's the Jetsons #1 from 1992, Harvey
Oh.
Comics. Look at that.
Da-da-da-da.
Look at the Harvey Comics classic cast of characters right there. All right, Daniel Clowes. Here, Jelani's got my Ghost World, but here's the other collection that I have. There's my copy of Ice Haven. This is a full issue of 8 Ball, I think 22. There is Wilson, which has also been adapted into a movie. So there's that. This is Patience, which is his newest graphic novel. This is from 2016. So I hope that we get something soon from him because it's been a while. These are some other collections from 8 Ball. Poussey. This is a great book. Y'all need to check that one out. This is David Boring, which is 8 Ball 19, 20, and 21. And then before Ghost World, there was Like a Velvet Glove, Cast in Iron. There it is right there. Daniel Clowes does Twin Peaks, but even weirder. That's basically it. The last issue of Ghost World was The Death Ray. There's my copy of it. This book is freaking fantastic. This might be one of my favorite Daniel Clowes books. And I can't rate any of them below a fucking 5 or 4.5, to be honest with you. Picked this up this week. Spawn Compendium Book 2 takes me through issue 100. They got volume 3 solicited now. This is an underground Italian comic that at one point got, seized and deemed obscene by U.S. Customs in 1985. A direct influence on Itchy and Scratchy. This is Squeak the Mouse. This is a hyper-violent, ultra-gory, super pornographic cartoon of a mouse versus a cat. And it's fucking wild, y'all. This shit is one of the most wild fucking comics I've ever fucking read. This came out in the 80s, and it's now available for the first time in print in America. in a collected hardcover edition. What else did I have? There's my 8-ball #1, back on the Daniel Clowes kick. 8-ball #1 signed by, guess who? Daniel Clowes. And once again, very disappointed in all of, and I mispronounce comic creators' names all the time, but very disappointed with how many fucking YouTube videos I've watched this week of people saying Daniel Clowes. Finally, I got this brand new soda. This is Mountain Dew Flamin' Hot, y'all.
What?
This has got to be fucking gross as shit, but I'm going to try it live here right now.
Oh my god.
So let's do it.
Flaming hot. Is it hot sauce?
Tastes like regular Mountain Dew.
But hot?
Yeah, there is a heat at the end of it.
Doesn't look like Mountain Dew though.
It tastes like a. Oh, that's weird. With a blast of heat and citrus, it tastes like regular Mountain Dew, and then at the end, it just tastes like you just ate some of those flaming hot Cheetos. It just leaves an aftertaste. Hold on, one more again. Let me try this one more again.
Is that what Judo Master would drink after eating the
Pretty much.
flaming hot Cheetos?
I think that's what he drank.
I don't hate it, but I'd rather just have it. Yeah, I don't like that. What is that?
The aftertaste.
What is that? Like this,
Yeah.
like chemical fucking thing. Anyway, that's my show and tell. Next up, Brooks, show us what you got.
Well, I broke up my Resident Evil. I was playing the first Resident Evil game, so I broke up my strategy guide and I opened up, and inside was this random issue of Wolverine. Like, I do not know why this was in this strategy guide, but it was just in there. It's just Wolverine 43.
Okay.
That's a cool cover, man.
Yeah,
Was that the Kubert days still? Was that Adam Kubert?
I think this was Silvestri, actually. Yeah, Silvestri.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Also, I picked this up the other day. This was a little set that they have at Walmart. I rewatched those. It's been like years since I watched.
God, I hope they never remake that. I see them ruining it immediately.
It's like some things you just aren't worth messing with.
Yeah.
And I finally busted out my real Ghostbusters figures.
Nice.
All right.
Don't cross the streams, bro. Don't cross those streams.
Don't they cross the streets to the new movie?
There's Winston and Peter. Oh no! And my book haul. Like, I picked this up the other day.
Oh,
a few
what's
weeks
that?
back. A very you may have heard of it. It's may have been mentioned at some point during this whole thing.
Nah.
I also picked this
By
up.
the way, everybody, check out our episode of Comics Revisited about Ghost World, available now on Pop Culture Philosophers. By the way, this aftertaste in this Mountain Dew still fucking sucks. It hasn't stopped.
Mountain Dew so bad that it goes past good and goes back to bad again.
Dude, I need a goddamn Tums. I got like fucking heartburn all of a sudden, man. This is not good. I don't like it. I shouldn't have taken 3 swigs.
Finish it. You opened it. Finish it.
I also picked this up. This
The mini
gigantic
comics.
fucking collection of He-Man mini comics.
That's the real He-Man.
Yeah. Like
They should have made a cartoon of that shit.
there's absolutely no real sense of continuity. It's just like, just do the comic, like throw in some new action figures in there. Have Skeletor do something.
Some dope artwork though, man. And I love
Yeah.
that lore in the beginning before it changes. I love the
Yeah.
original lore.
A lot of Bruce Timm in there.
Yeah, man. Isn't that weird? I mean,
Yeah.
you get some good
Bruce
artwork in
Timm.
there, man. Yeah.
Well, that's freaking nuts.
And last, I picked up this the other day. This is the second volume of the
Yeah.
Berserk. Goes a little more into the
It's never
Did you
finished.
just
History
say
of-
making fuck?
Berserker. But yeah, like
It's the art is gorgeous.
Yeah, this
gnarly.
book
That
does have
dude
some,
was
like, really good
awesome.
art. You check that shit out.
And it's all drawn by him.
Fucking knights and horses and shit,
fucking
bro.
dope.
It'll never be finished. How do you feel about owning beautiful art that will never be finished?
Huh?
Oh man.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Huh?
True.
And that was my haul.
This is not good.
Yeah.
It's like
Finish it.
it's not sitting well. No, I'm not drinking another fucking swig out of that, man. It's deceptive at first. It tastes like Mountain Dew at first. And then, I mean, it's not hot, but it just
Is annoying.
it's like it's
like
not
burning.
hot, but it feels like I ate something hot, like way hot. And like it has to be way hot for me to
But
feel
you
it.
like hot stuff.
I don't like, but this isn't hot. It's not spicy. It's just like acidic. Like it got heartburn now instantaneously. That's what this is. They should just call it instant Mountain Dew, instantaneous heartburn.
I'd
Which
never try that.
whatever. All right, next up for show and tell. Jelani. Ooh, I got
I got a lot. So buckle up. It's been like 2 weeks. So first, I'm gonna show off your copy of the Ghost World that we were
Thank you.
talking about. Look at that. It's so
For
so
completeness.
nice. Yeah, there you go. And so
You've now seen my entire Daniel Clowes library, everybody.
that's right. That was everything. So now, okay, I went on like a little problem thing where NECA decided to drop every freaking thing on planet Earth called Holothon for Target. So I have tons of shit from that. I guess I'll start off with the thing I think I'm going to get Kevin Eastman to sign, but I'm not quite sure yet. But I'm still going with it. It's going to be this Fugitoid. Apparently
Nice.
It's one of the Holothon things that sold out in like seconds. People were fighting like dogs to get it. So I was like, why not? Let me get one too. Apparently it's one of his first works with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, they
or
created Fugitoid before
Fugitoid
TMNT.
before yeah.
Yeah, there was a little comic. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean I love the artwork and all that stuff on it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get him to sign this. I think more than anything.
That's cool. I bet he'll appreciate that. He probably doesn't get a lot of
that's a
Fugitoid
cool one.
toys
Yeah.
to sign.
I hope
I got
they'll
one of
bring
the Playmates Fugitoids loose, and it's fantastic. Really
That's
good.
freaking awesome.
But it's like gold, but that's like the original look. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it. I didn't even know that was coming out, man. That's
Yeah,
cool.
man. I found it randomly and got it because everybody else was wanting it. And I was like, yeah, I want it too. I own it too. So next, like I said, it's all going to be pretty much NECA, but no, I'm not going to do NECA next. I'll show off my other Ninja Turtles. I got my Leonardo last week. This may be my favorite out of the Super 7 group.
Those are so good, man.
I love how well they are. They have the original Ninja Turtle heads, and they have these mean gruff heads. I like the mean and gruff heads a little better. Just last Wednesday, I got Donatello. He's got the gruff head and the bow staff in the back. I really like the detail of the shell for these, and he's got scratches in the back. That's so freaking cool. And then
Raphael got a little rough, man.
Yep.
Quit playing, Raph. Quit playing.
I got my Raph. My
Play
favorite
too much,
character.
Raph.
Yeah, son, and I absolutely adore these figures. But yeah, I can't wait for the Michelangelo in the hopefully in April, and Shredder, and I'm out.
Oh, you gotta get Splinter and Casey Jones
I'm out.
and
I'm
Baxter,
Mm-hmm.
Mondo
I don't need none of
Gecko, Muck
Yeah.
Man, Mutagen Man,
Oh,
Walkabout,
if they look good, and I have money to get them, we'll do it that way.
Krang,
So the first thing I found
Rocksteady.
before
You
the
don't tell me you ain't gonna buy a Rocksteady or Bebop.
Mm-mm.
You lying.
You liar.
Shredder,
You liar.
You lying, bro. They're gonna do Token Razor. You're gonna be all over it.
only if they look good.
You're gonna be
Only
like,
if
God
they
damn it!
look good.
I want that Rat King.
No, I don't want that Rat King. I saw the Rat King that they made for NECA already, and I don't want any of the new stuff. I don't know what it is about that stuff. And plus, it's way expensive.
Right,
But I
I got
found
the
this.
mummy.
I found the mummy.
Open it up. What does it look like?
I am. This is not the black and white one,
What, the black and white
Well,
one, spoilers,
there's a
looks exactly the same.
but black and white. Well, yeah, true.
Right?
He's got like two different heads. and he's got 2 right hands for some reason. I thought it was a defect, but apparently that's the thing with this. And then he's got the tomb of the what you
He's got
call it, the off
Yeah.
and the little rags
Is
that
the
are there.
scroll in there? Can you get the
Yeah,
scroll?
the scroll of thought. The scroll of thought is in there.
Oh, dude.
So I'm gonna open it, but I'm gonna open it when I get all of them.
That's so dope.
But yeah, it's pretty decent artwork. I love these NECA boxes.
We need a sarcophagus for that.
They're making one. It's coming. Oh, they got a Frankenstein table coming soon too. Then I got. Speaking of Ninja Turtles and Frankenstein, I got this
nice.
Saturday. This is the Frankenstein's monster version of the Universal Monsters. I haven't opened any of these because I don't have room for any of these. I got to get a whole new shelf for NECA. But that's Raphael as the Frankenstein's monster.
It's dope.
He's got electro size. He kind of looks like, I don't know, the knee pads look like it's the Last Ronin, but I like the boots. And apparently in the set, it's supposed to be Raphael as Frankenstein's monster, then Igor as Leonardo, and then Michelangelo as the mummy, and then April O'Neil is the bride of Frankenstein.
It's weird that they switched Raphael and Michelangelo because the original Universal Monsters, Michelangelo was Frankenstein, and Raphael's the mummy. But yeah,
it just thinks I don't get it. I didn't get it either. But he looks awesome, so I don't care. And Raphael's my favorite turtle. So yeah, there you go. And then I got more. The next NECA thing I got was this American Werewolf in London box set. Well, it's not a box set. It's just the terror dream of the Nazis. And I got. It comes with like 4 heads, so I could buy 4 of these. But why would I need that many Nazis?
That's what they're counting on.
Yeah, so it looks pretty good. I like the art as well on this one and the cover. Does that cool
it's lenticular, man. That's nice.
Yeah. Then one you were talking about that you said you liked, and I got this too, is the Muckman and Joe Eyeball glow in the dark figure.
Nice.
He glows in the dark, but I haven't taken him out to find out. It takes a lot of light, though. He's not like He-Man or Scareglow. It takes a whole bunch of light to make him glow in the dark. But it's so shiny. But I gotta wait to get like a NECA shelf worth a damn for me to like put these out.
It's dope, man.
Yeah, and that's it. That's my home.
Very cool, Jelani.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. All right, to finish up tonight for show and tell will be Brian. He's been waiting for this for a while. So Brian, it's your time. Show and tell. Well, show us what you've got.
Now I'd like 2 eggs over hard.
I was expecting it that time.
Were you?
Yeah.
Then it's getting.
I kept seeing Robbie's finger hovering over the button, waiting for that right time.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. So my wife surprised me the other day, and I know you guys are always showing action figures, and I know I don't have very many of them. But I think I might have now my favorite action figure. So I'm gonna bring this over.
Now I'd like 2 eggs over hard.
Oh, it's Bruce Lee. Very nice.
That's not an action figure.
That's a statue.
It's fully unposable.
That's an inaction figure.
I know. It's easy to set up. I can just go like this.
Well done.
I mean, I don't know, but I just thought this was super dope, and I couldn't wait to show it off.
That is dope, man.
Very nice, man.
So it stays on my work desk here. So,
does it make you think like water? It makes you flow.
Statue's like a finger pointing at the moon.
Don't look at the finger. Yeah.
What I need is emotional content.
Oh. I said emotional content, not anger.
Sorry, you started.
So recently I got my commissions in from Adam Gorham, and show up this one that he did for Dormammu.
Nice.
Raising
nice.
Money for a family friend of his. So I don't know. Yeah.
So he came to bargain.
And in the same theme, I paid him to do a commission of Doctor Strange, and
Damn.
I thought he nailed that classic costume just amazingly well. I freaking love this. So yeah, it's 11x17.
It's really good stuff.
So
That's
I'm
very
trying to
good.
get some good pictures, and I'll post that on the group and stuff like that. So
Please.
then the last thing I have is on theme with Daniel Clowes. I don't know if I have the original issue that this came with, but I did, I did have some stuff from Daniel Clowes, but before Apol came out, because he did a comic called Lloyd Llewellyn, and this was the print inside, and it's signed and numbered.
Wow.
So I don't know. It's been in my print collection for a while. But yeah, it says this is an official Lloyd print, limited to 600 copies, and signed by the author, Mr. Daniel Clowes, genius. That's really cool. So, but yeah. So, and there's the cat mask there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I thought that was really cool. So yeah, that's what I got.
Hell yeah. Great show, everybody. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had fun too. Jelani, final thoughts.
Great movie, great graphic novel. Watch and read Ghost World. Highly suggest it. I can't wait to meet Mr. Eastman and get stuff signed and meet you guys at the Pop Culture Expo to do expo things. I'm sorry I can't make the panel, or maybe I can. I don't know. Friday has not come yet, so we'll see how that goes. But
Just be like,
yeah.
they'll be like, Jelani, why'd you leave work early? Be like, I shit myself. What are they gonna say? What are they gonna say?
Nothing. No, absolutely nothing. I'll figure something out. But because I want to be on the panel, so we'll see. But good to see you guys as per usual next week. Dick Tracy.
Ryan, final thoughts.
Like I said at the Comics Revisited, man, I'm glad we're doing some pretentious shit, man. I mean, we got to up that pretentious factor, man.
We're
Yeah, that's
highbrow
why we're doing
comics
Dick Tracy next
enthusiasts.
week.
That's right.
That's why we're doing Dick
yeah.
Tracy.
True.
Well, I was gonna watch it, but you spoiled it, so I'll just,
It's Madonna. Madonna is the killer. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Not figure out
Her
that-
name's Breathless.
Breathless?
Get it? She's the killer. I get it. I think that's clever. Her name's Breathless. She'll take your breath away with her beauty, but also because she's a murderer.
Pew pew.
Yeah, they put a lot into that. Yeah.
Brooks, final thoughts.
This show was so bad that passed good and came back to bad again.
I get that.
For my final thoughts, probably the most profound thing I'll ever have to say here is
Now, I'd like 2 eggs over hard.
Doesn't
John
even faze me anymore, man.
Chiquihoncho.